Yes. Yes, my children, it is I.
Marco.
Let's go.
It is I, and I am back once again. The wisdom of the cult. I am the wisdom of the cult, and I'm here to share it with thee, with thou, with thus. What is up, everybody who's here? Namaste, and welcome back to, whatever the fuck. There's no real name for this show, is there? It's just, welcome back to my channel, I guess, but then that sounds terrible. So, we're here, and we're good. Mr. Creatine, you already done know. What's up, everybody? Make sure you thumbs up the ting. You already done know that.
Thumbs up the ting.
Exactly. I hope you guys are doing well. It's Friday. You know, mahalo, and all that. So, appreciate you guys for being here. I have some exciting news. I decided to stop hating on Bob Proctor and the New Age community and the pseudoscience of the law of attraction. Instead, I have given myself completely to it.
He's beginning to believe.
I have given myself completely to it, and I'm willing to give it a chance.
Thanks, Marco.
So what I have done is, the reason I am a little bit late starting this stream is because, and I'm being serious, prior to this starting, I laid down, and I lost track of time. I didn't fall asleep, but I laid down, and I committed to manifesting, okay, that I would make $1,000 on this stream tonight.
Billions and billions.
And I just, you know what? I believe it. I believe it. Something feels different tonight. Something feels different tonight. So I don't know, man. That Streamlabs link in the chat is the same, but something feels different tonight. Something feels like, you know, something told me that it wasn't going to happen, because why would it? But then something else came in and told me, bro, those are limiting beliefs. And I figured, you know what? Let's say the stream at its peak. You know, everyone's going to thumbs up the stream. We're all going to see it. It's going to be great. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that we have an average of about 150 viewers tonight. I mean, 150, 1,000 divided by 150 is not that many. I don't know what it is, but that's because I don't use calculators. Because calculators and numbers and math and objective reality and all that shit, that is for people who don't have faith. You don't need a calculator when you believe. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to 1,000 divided by 150. It's only $6. It's 6.66 repeating, which is the mark of the devil. But you get me. You guys. So imagine 5 people dropped $20, carrying more than twice their workload. We'd get there. So I'm manifesting that tonight, and I think we're gonna do it.
Marco, fuck yeah. Come on, Marco, fuck him.
I think we're gonna do it. Second of all, I have to demand that you guys click thumbs up on the stream. Second of all, I would like to tell you that if I do get, you know what, even if I get $500, even if I get only $500, which is still a lot, I'm going to buy this. Let me show you something. The cowboy hat was the first step in the evolution, but we need to take it up a notch. It's time. It's time for the next phase. It's time for the next phase of Always Marco. Where is the hartej? That's Hartej's office. Where's my cowboy background? That's the studio. Lost it. Dude, giant. Here we go. It's already in my search history. This is the next step. A giant foam mega hat, which you can get in the flat brim, or honestly, you could get it in the Doug Dimmadome. I think this is where we go next, right? I just feel like if this was a show, if this stream was a Netflix show, each season you would expect a new development, some character arc, aside from me getting massively shredded. But you would expect some more something. And so I just feel like you got to keep elevating, got to keep going bigger and better. And I love that. So I think that's, I think that's what I'm onto. I think I'm onto some shit. Hey, thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Ingrid, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Rome DMV. The law of attraction is interesting. They just forget the part where you put in the actual work. Yeah, no, I didn't do any work. I just laid down. Appreciate you, Devin. Appreciate you. Let the dono war begin. So true. So true. Yeah, thumbs it up. I'm a little bit late, but where's everybody at? Where y'all at? What up, Jimmy? The real one shall not be triggered. So true. Oh, yeah. The libs will be mad if I get the Zendi. That's Zendaya's alt account that she donates to me from, so nobody knows that it's her, but that is actually Zendaya. So thank you, Zendaya. Appreciate you. Zendaya be in my DM, but it's no big deal. Beyond said, if this stream was a Netflix show, you've been voted out of the circle, killed a guy in the bayou, and then fired for SA allegations. That's true. Yeah, the libs will be mad, but you know what? At this point, I have a little game I play with my friends called liberal or conservative. And the game goes like this. You point at a person, or like, not point because that's rude, but you gesture or signal over to a person off in the distance. And you say to your friend, liberal or conservative, and they have to guess if that person is liberal or conservative. And there's no real way to win the game. It's actually not even a game, if you think about it. It is just a thing to say. And I do enjoy those. So you point at someone, you say liberal or conservative, and it's especially funny when the person you're pointing at is so obviously one or the other. Like, for example, you point at a guy with a MAGA hat on and some camouflage boots, and you say liberal or conservative. The answer is obviously conservative, because they say don't judge a book by its cover, but also that's what, judgment is built into us as a survival technique. You have to judge. So when people say don't judge a book by its cover, they're absolutely wrong, and you should always judge books by their cover. Likewise, if you look at someone and from 50 feet away or 100 feet away, you can't exactly tell if it's a man or a woman right away, and you can tell that their hair is bright pink or green or blue or purple or whatever, chances are they're liberal. So, but both sides have lost their minds, and I'm neither. I'm whatever you are. I'm whatever you at home are watching. I agree with you, and this is a safe place. So we're here. Are there any liberals in Alberta? You'd be amazed. Even though Alberta is a very, overall conservative, there's a lot of libs here, So Lily Lucky says, I'm a lib in Alberta. Trust me, hardly anyone I know thinks like me. Well, there you go. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Beyond, glad you're feeling better. Hope you guys are feeling good, doing good. Wear an increasingly bigger hat each stream. I like that. FSRA News, WFG, did they say something? I actually spoke to somebody from FSRA yesterday on the phone that I've been keeping in touch with. Nope, they haven't said anything. That was old, actually. Ron RT, I talked about that in April in my WFG Part 4 video. And I've been speaking to the FSRA, and I don't know if I can say this, but I don't see why I couldn't say this. I sent them a bunch of materials that I've collected over the years, internal WFG documents and the like that have been sent to me by former representatives and whistleblowers, and I've sent in materials that I believe verify that World Financial Group is a pyramid scheme. And I won't tell you what the FSRA person said to me, but I've done my part, and I absolutely can say that, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. Make sure y'all thumbs up the stream. There's something weird going on. Did y'all get notified for this stream? I don't think you did, because, yeah, I think because I basically started the stream right after scheduling it, which is not a good idea. Normally, it's better to do it earlier in the day, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I've been busy today, and it's all good. So, we are here. Also, exciting news that I have for you guys. So, this is gonna make some of your toes curl up and dig into the carpet or whatever, wherever you are, in your shoes. I last night decided to. Okay, let me tell you what I did. On Friday, which is today, so I was wrong. On Wednesday, yes. On Wednesday, I decided I'm going to record the entirety of me saying my script for the new video dubbed The Big One. I decided that I was going to record the whole thing, basically just reading it off. And this is me filming the video, essentially. And over the past few months, I've been writing my script, collecting clips and information, and spying on Zoom calls and doing the in-person infiltration and all that. And this was the last piece I needed to do so that I could actually edit the video together. So I decided, okay, you know what? I'll film all the script material, and I'll film this as like a placeholder just so I can get an idea for how long the talking head parts of the video are and how long the whole video is when I edit it together, knowing full well that I would cut stuff and re-record it more properly where I'm looking into the camera the whole time. Now, normally the way I've done this in the past is I have my script and I write either a paragraph of what I'm going to say word for word or like bullet points, and then I look at it and I talk. And I look at the screen, and then I go back to the camera and I say it. And if I mess it up, I look back, okay, what did I say? That is a very slow, painstaking process. And for this video, which has the biggest script of any MLM video I've ever done, the other day I purchased this. Streamlabs link in the chat because this was like $130. I purchased this. This is a teleprompter. There's a little shield on it right now that's hard to get off. But if I took this off, you would see an angled piece of glass. And your phone goes right here. So my phone would go in here like this. And there's an app that basically scrolls the words. And you can adjust the size. And so this mirror reflects the words back onto it. And then this part goes, you know, that slides on right there to the camera. So you're looking into the lens, but you're seeing the words on the screen. And you're reading a teleprompter. So this will make it so much easier and so much more efficient for me to do this video and other videos of this kind in the future. But anyways, last night, using the not final take of me talking into the camera, just the rough of, you know, in this footage, you can see that I'm reading off the computer screen. I'm not looking at the camera. But last night, I had all this footage, and I had it in the timeline. I had all the footage of me talking on one side, and I had all the source material, the Zoom call clips, the interview clips, the YouTube videos, the in-person infiltration, and I had that all on one side. And I was like, let me start the task of combining these two together into what would essentially be like the first cut of the final video. So I was like, I'll work for a bit and I'll just get a flow going and then finish it tomorrow. This is at about 10:30 last night. I intended only to work for half an hour because I was like, let me not stay up too late. I'll go to bed at 11, wake up early, go to the gym. We'll get started. So I'm going from 10:30. I go to 11 and I'm in such a flow that I'm like, nah, I finished like a quarter of it. Let me just do half. Then I did half. Then I did the whole thing. And I had a cut of the video that was an hour and 15 minutes. Then I was like, you know what? Let me go back over it again and play through the whole thing on double speed and try to refine different parts and cut it down even further and refer back to my script and see what I can shorten so that when I record it the final time, it's actually like proper. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate you, bro. And I got to the end again, and now I had a second cut, which was, hey, thank you, Jimmy Moon. What's happening? I feel like donating is the right thing to do all of a sudden. Marco must be manifesting his destiny.
Billions and billions.
It works.
God did.
And
He's beginning to believe.
I'm glad I did.
I take responsibility.
Appreciate that. So I got to the end of it again, and I saw that it was an hour and 5 minutes. And I look at the clock, and I'll tell you right now, I have not had like an editing session like this in a long time. And I look at the clock, and it's 3 a.m. I look at the clock, and it is 3 a.m. So I've been going nonstop, with the only exception being going to piss, and I think I might have filled up my water bottle one time. So in one day, in one evening, from, roughly a 4.5 hour editing session where I stayed up till late night to complete it, I went from having the rough take of me filming it and all my source footage to having a version of the video that is the first cut of the video. And the crazy thing is, right now, if I was to export the video in its current form and you watched it, it would convey all of the information that I sought to convey when I was planning it in my head. You could effectively watch the video right now and get it. All that it's missing is obviously the proper footage of me talking to the camera, which I will film in the next couple days, and the sprinkles, meaning like, when you watch a YouTube video and the YouTuber is talking and then they make their big point and it zooms in and then it zooms back out and things like that. Things like when I make a reference to something that happened in history and I talk about, 2008, Bernie Madoff, blah, blah, blah. A picture would come up and I would show Bernie Madoff, or things like that, like visual sources popping up. Those are the only things missing. And of course, the motion graphic stuff that I want to get from Beyond, which I'm going to send you Beyond. Maybe even after this stream, we can chat if you're feeling up to it, and I'll send you some stuff. But aside from that, like, the video is so close. The video is so close to complete. And I've been having this weird thing in the past 2 weeks where my eyelid on my left eye is like twitching. And I've Googled it, and the internet says that it could be eye fatigue from looking at a screen. It can be from stress. It can be from lack of quality sleep. I've had pretty decent sleep, but I think the stress thing, as much as I like to think I'm not stressed, I know I do look at screens too much during my day. And I think part of the reason this video has taken me so long is because there is an element of stress behind it, because I know I am going to get sued for this video. I'm almost certain. Like, that would be on the low end of repercussions of me putting out this video. On the high end would be like somebody trying to attack me or harass me or assassinate me or have my platforms taken down off, TikTok, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. And that is stressful. And, it's like such a double-edged sword. I'm excited about it, and I'm also stressed about it because I'm fighting the forces of evil here, genuinely. And, I'm one guy trying to take on the biggest, not that I'm the only one doing this, but I am doing this at a level where, these long videos, these infiltrating a pyramid scheme videos, they all have got hundreds of thousands of views, especially the part 1 of any series that I've done, ACN, WFG, IM, all of those videos, the part 1s have hundreds of thousands of views. So I'm doing it at a level where it gets noticed, and they actually do try to hit, strike back in some way or another. And that is stressful. And I thought, I wish there was somebody I could talk to about this. And so a couple of days ago, I tracked down the email of a gentleman whose name I had been mispronouncing. You might have heard me talk about Harry Markopolos before. And I realized his last name is pronounced Harry Markopolos, like Marco Polo. He's Greek. And if you don't recognize that name, that is the gentleman who discovered the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme. Him and his team discovered it, and he was the first to report it to the SEC back in 2000, again in 2001, and again in 2005. And the SEC did nothing about it. And it wasn't until 2008 or 2009 when Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme, $64 billion Ponzi scheme, then the biggest in history, had been exposed. I emailed him 2 days ago, and to my surprise, by the way, the reason I emailed him is because I'm listening to his book right now called No One Would Listen. And I just saw, I feel like there's so many similarities between his story and mine. He talks about growing up working at his Greek family's restaurant franchise that they owned, and he would go to the different locations and learn about business. And that's similar to my experience. I grew up in as a teenager going to the different locations of my dad's Lebanese restaurant franchise that he owned, and being conscious of is this employee stealing, and watch what they're doing, and sort of being like a spy to that extent. And that's similar to what I do now with the MLM things, is I'm undercover in the meetings. We got the spy pen camera and whatever. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe he would understand. So I reached out to him. And in the book and in the movie called Chasing Madoff, which is sort of a documentary version of the book with it's more condensed. Harry Markopolos talks about how he started going to gun training and wearing a bulletproof vest and carrying a gun and looking underneath his car before he got in the car because he thought that it was going to blow up, or he thought he was going to be assassinated. And he's talking about a Ponzi scheme that's estimated to be worth $64 billion. And I am going against an industry, a scam, a cult that is worth, in excess of $1 trillion every single year that it generates globally. That's the estimate right now, is that it is over $1 trillion every single year. So we talk about Bernie Madoff and $64 billion over 20 plus years, however long it took him to accumulate. And the comparison, that's not even comparable. So you can
equals S tier content.
Thank you, Six God, appreciate that. So you can understand why there is some stress behind every time I do one of these videos. This video that I'm about to put out is a first, in that this company has been around for decades and is a publicly traded company. World Financial Group, ACN, and IM, those are companies that are, I think the oldest of those three is ACN, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But none of them are as old as this company that I'm releasing the video about coming up here. And none of those companies were publicly traded companies who, the investors of it are, Vanguard, BlackRock, these big institutions. You've probably heard the name BlackRock if you've watched anything about Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, or, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around BlackRock, and they're a primary shareholder in this company. So the risk factor for this new video, it feels a lot higher than anything I've done before. And I've also, I've never had a company send me a cease and desist letter for a video that I hadn't even put out yet.
Here ya go.
Wow, thank you, Sugar Mama. It's working.
Billions and
He's beginning
billions.
to believe.
It's working. Thank you, Sugar Mama. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've never had a company send me a cease and desist letter prior to a video even being released. So this is definitely a first. And it makes me nervous for sure, but you know, I gotta keep doing the thing. I gotta keep BlackRock low-key owns everything. I gotta keep fighting the good fight, fighting for what I believe in and trying to help people and do good. And you know, I'm a young man. What am I doing this for? I don't have kids. I'm not married. What's the point? What's the point? In a world where so many people are struggling to find their calling, find purpose, find something they like, find something they're passionate about, find a reason to get out of bed, find a reason to go and compete. You know, I'm very lucky in that sense that I do have a mission that I'm committed to. I mean, if I didn't have something to keep me busy, I'd probably become depressed or go insane or, you know, waste my time doing some bullshit, essentially. So I'm very grateful on one hand, and on the other hand, it is like, it's scary and nerve-wracking, and we'll just have to see what happens when the video comes out. But I mentioned that I was able to get the video down to like an hour and 15, hour and 5. I got to get some feedback from my friends like James Jani, Coffeezilla, Philip Solo. I got to send them the video and see what they think, get their feedback. But thus far, my longest video about an MLM company is WFG Part 3. And some of you, you know, I think I've posted that in my Discord, an unlisted link to that video if you want to watch it, because some people in Canada can't actually see it, unfortunately. But that video, let me see, is 47 minutes and 5 seconds, which is pretty long. It's my longest MLM video to date. The current runtime of my rough cut of this new video is an hour and 5 minutes. I think absolutely I want to get it under 1 hour. If I could get it to be the same or less runtime than that WFG Part 3 video, I would be very excited. So 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I would really like it to be under an hour. Sorry, yeah, I realized I didn't wrap up my thread about Harry Markopolos. I did talk to him. I sent him an email a couple days ago, 2 days ago actually, and he responded rather, like I was surprised. He responded quickly, same day actually. I'm not going to read what I wrote. This was 2 days ago. Basically, I asked him if he would be interested in looking at this investigation I did, or if he would be interested in doing an interview for the channel. I think he would have a really interesting, I'm really curious to hear his perspective on like the crypto and NFT craze of the past couple years, what his thoughts are on that. Talk to him about Bernie Madoff, talk to him about pyramid schemes. Basically, yeah, he responded. Sorry, I messaged him 2 days ago. He responded the following morning, and he said that he wouldn't work on a MLM case specifically because he's already got his own investigations and stuff going on. And then today, I emailed him again. I responded, and he replied within 15 minutes, and asked him again about doing an interview, and he said he's working on 2 investigations right now, but at the end of the year, he's looking to do more podcasts and interviews. So I said, hey, I'll holler at you again at the end of the year. I'm hoping that wasn't his way of like letting me down easy the way I tried to do with Scott Johnson 2 years ago and told him, oh, I'm not looking to do that right now. But he told me the end of the year. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for Harry Markopolos interviews and podcasts coming out near the end of the year, at which time I will reach out to him again now that I know that I have his proper contact. And hopefully by that time, my channel is much bigger, and maybe he'll have heard of me independently of you know, my own efforts, and my video will have done well and spurred some whatever. And yeah, very, very very excited to talk to him in the future. I'm going to make it happen because he's probably you know, he's a historical figure, you know, the biggest Ponzi scheme that we know about in history. That's amazing. And the fact that he responded to me so quickly and was so open, and he said, so, I like I said, I didn't read the Markopolos. Yeah, there you go. I didn't read what he wrote, but he had some nice words to say to me as well, and some good advice. And man, wow, I was just shocked that he even responded, and for him to do it so quick and to follow up was incredible. So shout out to Mr. Markopolos. I really, really appreciate that. Also, the weird parallels, you know, like he is Harry Markopolos going against Bernie Madoff, and I am Marco. So the word Marco is in both, and I'm going against, at the root of it, the family that runs the whole shit is the DeVos family. So I don't know, I just felt like Madoff, DeVos, they're both similar in how they sound, and Harry Markopolos, always Marco. I don't know, I just felt some weird parallel. And then like him in his book talking about his Greek family background, and his dad, like, you know, the attitudes toward business, and him working, looking over shit at his family's restaurant franchise locations, and me having the same experience. It's like really a weird history repeating itself type thing. But he's a big inspiration to me, and I hope that we really can do that discussion by the end of this year, or maybe even early 2024. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah, there's some bars in there's for sure somewhere. Does your dad own Lebanon Express? No, he's out of the restaurant game now. Thank you, Beyond. Thank you, Jimmy, for saying the nice words. What up, Daisy B? Squeaky wheel gets the grease. So true, 7-Eleven manager. If your last name ends with off, you're a rat bastard, says NPAZ. Yeah. David Shapiro, what up? No, I got in touch with the guy who caught Bernie Madoff, Harry Markopolos. This is him. He absolutely, the way he talked to his testimony, the way he talked to the SEC. Oh, wow, this was uploaded by Nancy Pelosi. Crazy. The way Harry Markopolos, talked to the SEC in this video inspires me for like the way I want to talk to the FTC about pyramid schemes. Let's just check this out before we get into the whole Jay Noland thing. And everybody, thumbs up the ting if you're watching this.
Thumbs up the ting.
Click like on the video. Come on now.
It's all yours.
See how he says it?
Markopolos, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning.
Turn him up.
For inviting me here to testify before your committee today regarding my 9-year-long investigation into the Madoff Ponzi scheme. I would also like to recognize my congressman, Stephen Lynch, who is a member of the committee. I look forward to explaining to Congress today and the SEC's Inspector General tomorrow what I saw, when I saw it, and what my dealings with the SEC were that led me to this case being repeatedly ignored over an 8.5-year period between May 2000 and December 2008. First, I would like to extend my deepest sympathy to the many thousands of victims of this scheme. We know that many victims have lost their retirement savings and are too old to start over. We also know that others have lost medical services, community services, and scholarships provided by charities that were wiped out by the Madoff fraud. This pains me greatly, and I will do my best to inform you, the victims, about my repeated and detailed warnings to the SEC. You, above all others, deserve to know the truth about this agency's failings, and I will do my best to explain them to you today. You will hear me talk a great deal about overlawyering at the SEC very soon. Let me say, I have nothing against lawyers. In fact, I brought 2 of my own here today. As today's testimony will reveal, my team and I tried our best to get the SEC to investigate and shut down the Madoff Ponzi scheme, with repeated incredible warnings to the SEC that started in May 2000, when the Madoff Ponzi scheme was only a $3 to $7 billion fraud. We knew then that we had provided enough red flags and mathematical proofs to the SEC for them where they should have been able to shut him down right then and there at under $7 billion. But, unfortunately, the SEC staff lacks the financial expertise and is incapable of understanding the complex financial instruments being traded in the 21st century. In October 2001, when Madoff was still in the $12 to $20 billion range, again, we felt confident that we had provided even more evidence to the SEC such that he should have been stopped at well under $20 billion. And again, in November 2005, when Mr. Madoff was at $30 billion, 29 red flags were handed to the SEC, and yet again, they failed to properly investigate and shut down Mr. Madoff's operation. Unfortunately, as they didn't respond to my written submissions in 2000, 2001, 2005, 2007, and 2008, here we are today. A fraud that should have been stopped at under $7 billion in 2000 has now grown to $50 billion. I know that you want to know why there were over $40 billion in additional damages, and I hope to be able to provide some of those answers to you today. Just as there is no I in team, I had a brave, highly trained team that assisted me throughout the 9-year Madoff investigation. Let me briefly introduce the key team members to you. Neil Cello, Director of Research for Benchmark Plus, a $1 billion plus fund of funds, checked every management and his current cash situation. Top's charts, skeptics ask how. It was an expose. It contained several red flags that the SEC ignored. These three gentlemen were my eyes and ears out into the hedge fund world.
What up, Silicon Valley? By the way, in case you guys don't know about the relevance of this or what Bernie Madoff was, Bernie Madoff was a guy who had such a decorated resume. Former chairman of the NASDAQ, okay? Widely regarded as, the Wizard of Oz when it came to financial returns. He was the best investor, the best, he had all these fucking stories. It's really interesting. We should, on a stream one day, there's an interview with Bernie Madoff, I think a year or two before he gets caught. And it's like just this casual interview where he's being all fun and nice, and he's saying, in today's regulatory climate, it's basically impossible to break the rules with how much regulation goes on. And at that time, he had been running the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. So he was making people think that they were in the club of some secret investment club where Bernie has all the answers to get you the money, but don't tell anyone you're investing with Bernie. Obviously, it was a fraud, and there were countless people that were investing with Bernie, either through what's called a feeder fund, where it's an investment like brokerage, where they are actually just they're acting just as a middleman for Bernie Madoff, basically. So, people go with their checks to the investment firm and they say, can you invest this for me? And they say yes, but then they just charge a commission and turn around and give it to Bernie Madoff to get the return. And Bernie was giving the returns, but because of the 2008 financial crisis, people got nervous and started pulling their money out. So he didn't have enough Peters to pay Paul. He didn't have enough new investors, and the Ponzi scheme collapsed. There's a movie about this where Robert De Niro plays Bernie Madoff called The Wizard of Lies. And there's a book called The Wizard of Lies as well. And there's a documentary with Harry in it called Chasing Madoff. And the book, no one would listen. And it is like a huge, huge, huge thing. And basically, the way Bernie Madoff got away with this was, it's really incredible. We should do a viewing party of The Wizard of Lies in Discord one night. But it's just scary how simple his operation was. People would just get told, yeah, I got this guy, Bernie, but hush, hush, he who must not be named. And he provides the returns. And he would just send people. There was no digital copies of anything. There was no way anyone could verify that the money was real. He would just, his boy was in a little office down the hall, typing up pieces of paper, spreadsheets, using the newspaper from yesterday to be like, yeah, we made this trade, this is how we got the money, we didn't do this trade because this went down. And they would send physical paper copies to the investors to prove that the returns were real. But all the papers proved was that someone had written numbers on a piece of paper. And so all the money was basically just going into his bank account. So he would just take on investments from new people, or, you know, Steven Spielberg, Kevin Bacon. These are like some of the celebrities who had money with Madoff. Lots and lots of thousands of people had money with Madoff. It was insane. And there was no investments happening at all, which is crazy. Not even no investments, literally. Just going into a bank account, and as long as there was enough money to pay back the old people, you know, keep in mind, the old people, the reason he was able to get away with it for so long was because he was never really actually paying out. People were so happy with the returns that they saw on paper that they just kept letting it sit there, you know, compound interest, and they just let Bernie reinvest it. That's what they thought. Meanwhile, the number in his bank account was just getting bigger until, of course, too many people ask for their money back. Then eventually the thing collapses and you get discovered. But wow, The Wizard of Lies, great movie that really shows like how close he came so many times to being discovered. Never mind the fact that there was people like Harry Markopolos like literally sending in documents to the SEC saying the world's largest hedge fund is a fraud. Like, anyways, you'll see in this if it shows the one gentleman. There's one gentleman, one of the senators or whoever these people are at the bench. He's like yelling at the SEC people, and he's like, "You had this guy Harry Markopolos point you to the pile of crap that's Bernie Madoff, and he stuck your nose in it, and you couldn't smell it." And like all the SEC top people had to like resign, and it was a whole fucking thing. So yeah, Jimmy says, I watched this at least 50 times, and my worst fear would have been to be exposed by Marco or CoffeeZilla. Unreal to watch this right now. Yeah, man. Hey, you're on the good side now, Jimmy. Yeah. Peter's always ruined everything. Hilarious. They should teach about Madoff in school. Absolutely. Absolutely. Robbing Scott the baby. Yeah. Literally.
Closely tracking who Madoff was dealing with and questioning the staff of the Madoff feeder funds to collect additional pieces of the puzzle. My Army Special Operations background trained me to build intelligence networks, collect reports from...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the chart, KB, Madoff chart. Check this out. Here it is. This was Bernie Madoff's returns. Just a perfect line increase. You know, you normally look at stocks. They go up, they go down. But over a long period of time, it evens out. Look at this. Every year, year over year, up, 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 up. Like, the fact that it went on that long, and he had all these stories. Oh, you know, I'm using a technique, split strike conversion, where we can figure out blah, blah, bullshit. Complete bullshit. I love it. I love it.
Field operatives, devise lists of additional questions to fill in the blanks, analyze the data, and send draft reports for review and error correction to my team before submitting them to the SEC. In order to minimize the risk of discovery of our activities and the potential threat of harm to me, my team, and to our families, I submitted these reports to the SEC without signing them. Only a few key, trusted people at the SEC knew my name, and my name only, not those of my team. In order to compartmentalize the damage, if Mr. Madoff found out that we were tracking him.
Great point, David. It's still happening today. People say, we have an advanced crypto trading bot that is sure to make money. I mean, how many people lost their ass in the past 3 years from this? It's insane.
Mr. Madoff was already facing life in prison if he were caught, so he'd face little to no downside to removing whatever threat he felt we posed. At various points in time, throughout these past 9 years, each of us feared for our lives. Each time any of us collected information, we took risks, and fortunately for us, we were not discovered. I'd also like to recognize Ed Mannion of the Boston Regional Office of the SEC. He was my constant confidant throughout the past 9 years.
This is the actual just video of the news C-SPAN broadcast of this, Lens. This is in the Bernie Madoff documentary. I'm sure there are clips from this testimony. This testimony, actually, the real world clip that we're watching right now, is used in a scene in the movie The Wizard of Lies, where Robert De Niro, who is playing Bernie Madoff, is sitting there on the couch watching this in his penthouse, watching Harry Markopolos explain how he caught him. Really incredible film.
If not for his encouragement and bravery, I would have quit the investigation after my second submission, which was in October 2001. Mr. Mannion told me that his agency had dropped the ball, but that I had a public duty to keep investigating because the Madoff Ponzi scheme was such a clear and present danger to the nation's capital markets that if the SEC wasn't going to investigate, well, someone had to, and he didn't think there was anybody better qualified than me to lead the investigation. Mr. Madoff kept taking the case to his superiors at the SEC, and he kept getting ignored because he was not a securities lawyer, only a chartered financial analyst with 25 years of trading and portfolio management experience in the industry. Sadly, the SEC distrusts anyone with industry experience. I am very surprised that the SEC did not fire Mr. Mannion for his constant pestering about Mr. Madoff. The SEC to this day holds against him the fact that he kept bringing this case to their attention, and I believe he would be fired if he ever went public and told investors how strong an advocate he was on their behalf.
You know what else is crazy too regarding this whole shit is you didn't even need to be a financial whiz to understand Bernie Madoff's scam. In the book, they talk about how you could have sat an art major down in front of Bernie Madoff, and just in a couple of questions, you could have been able to figure it out. And they also talk about how Bernie Madoff was so like, I mean, he was a sociopath. Just there's one part in the book where Harry talks about his friend who was a journalist, reaching out to Bernie Madoff for an interview. And Bernie Madoff is like, oh yeah, no problem. Come on down to the office. And like, he had an answer for everything and was just so chill and so laid back and like literally so confident, such a confident liar that even people who knew empirically that he was running a Ponzi scheme began to doubt. It reminds me of Casey Anthony. There's a JCS psychology video called There's Something About Casey, and it's about the Casey Anthony interrogation. Casey Anthony, a woman who I guess it would be technically wrong for me to say that she murdered her daughter, but that was what she was accused. That's what she was suspected of doing. I personally do believe that she did it. And the interrogation footage is so awe-inducing because she gets caught in multiple blatant lies and then doubles and triples and quadruples down on the lies in court and fabricates this whole story with her lawyer about how her dad abused her and just lie. And she's a free woman today, unfortunately, which I think is so scary that this woman who all the evidence was against her that she killed her daughter. And they even found like a diary. The JCS video talks about this, where they found a diary belonging to Casey Anthony where she talks about, there was like a diary entry from like a couple days after she killed her daughter saying, I'm so conflicted, but I know I did the right thing. I didn't want to be a mom. I want to party and have fun and all this shit. It's like, wow, insane. So Madoff was a similar thing where it was just lie. That's why the movie is called The Wizard of Lies. He just lied to the point where when he finally did tell the truth, people didn't even believe him.
Boston branch chief Mike Garrity was the other SEC official who distinguished himself during the case. In October and November 2005,
yeah, one person who can actually guarantee financial gains is David Imonitier, the Forex god, the Forex fraud.
Examined my evidence.
What up, Mars? What up, Walter? NPAS says, I remember reading an article that Bernie Madoff cornered the market on hot chocolate in prison. True story. I believe that. I love it. That's the thing, man, is if you're a psychopath or a sociopath or if you got a skill, prison will compound how you move in the real world. Prison will compound that. So if you're a bully in the real world, you're probably going to be bullying in prison. If you're getting bullied out in the real world, you're probably going to get super bullied in prison.
Evidence, investigated, and found irregularities, vouched for my credentials, and put me in touch with the appropriate SEC staff in the New York regional office. Since Mr. Madoff's operation was located in New York City, the New York regional office had jurisdiction. In 2000, Mr. Mannion warned me that relations between the New York and Boston regional offices was about as warm and friendly as the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, and that New York does not like to receive tips from Boston. Truer words were never spoken. There was no centralized office of the whistleblower in Washington, staffed with industry professionals who knew how to determine if whistleblower complaints being submitted were credible and of sufficient quality to merit immediate investigation. Instead, I had to go through the Boston SEC regional office, which had to forward me to the New York regional office. Unfortunately, these two offices did not get along, and I wasn't able to go directly to the SEC's headquarters in Washington and have them referee and lead this entire process. Regional turf battles definitely played a part, a determining factor, in fact, in how disastrous this case was handled by the SEC. In April 2008, I went to the SEC's Director of Risk Assessment with this case and got no response. I told the SEC exactly where to look, providing them with a long series of clear warnings that any trained investment professional would have immediately understood. Inexplicably, the SEC never acted upon those repeated and multiple warnings over a 9-year time span. As my formal written testimony makes clear, the SEC is over-lawyered and has too few staff with relevant industry experience and professional credentials to find fraud, even when a multi-billion-dollar case is handed to them on a silver platter. Worse, my team and I kept collecting additional information, and I kept sending it to the SEC, and they kept ignoring it. The SEC is also captive to the industry. It regulates.
Look how ashamed they are. What up, bad dog? Another crazy thing about the whole Madoff shit is that I think it is because of this. I know there was a whistleblower program for the SEC prior to the Bernie Madoff, Harry Markopolos exposure, but I think they might have added the incentive for whistleblowers after the Madoff thing. Basically, if you file an SEC whistleblower report about a certain company dealing with securities, so financial products, financial instruments, then if the SEC does an investigation because of your tip and they recover money, you can earn a percentage of that money. I think it's like 10 or 30%. I don't remember exactly. So you can see why that would be significant. If in the case of a $64 billion Ponzi scheme, if they were giving you 10% for being a whistleblower, you're now a billionaire. So I think after this is when they added that incentive for whistleblowers to come forward so that something like this didn't happen again. And ever since, that's what Harry Markopolos has been doing for a living, to my understanding, is him and his team now go and conduct investigations independently of different companies, large companies in the hundreds of millions or billions, and try to find accounting flaws or, flaws in their books. And then they detail a report to the SEC, and the SEC pays them out based on that. A couple years ago, he announced that he was General Electric, GE, was the company that he was looking into. I don't know exactly what happened with that. As far as I know, GE is still around. So I don't know if that was an L for them or what, but that's what he does now, and I think it's super dope. And boy, do I wish there was something like that for the FTC when it came to shutting down pyramid schemes. I think it is going to take, it took a $64 billion Ponzi scheme that led to multiple documentaries and books and people committing suicide and people losing their life savings in order for the SEC to, tighten things up in their department. And that's a real shame that it had to get to that point just for them to do the bare minimum. FTC with pyramid schemes, I think something horrible already has happened and continues to happen. The biggest cult and scam in human history. But I think there's going to have to be some massive exposure, some massive story, some massive, Jonestown Massacre level of MLM brainwashing. I mean, Nexium was a big one. Nexium was a big story. I think there's going to have to be something really big and really harmful for the FTC to go, hey, you know what? Let's make MLM a criminal offense and not just a civil offense. Let's make it so that you don't just have to pay a fine and change the name and start over again. Let's make it a criminal offense with severe penalties. Let's actually provide consumers who used to be in the company, who were in the meetings, who have heard the scam, who have heard the promises of the Lambo and the private jet. Let's incentivize them when they make their report to earn a piece of what we collect. Because the rare class action lawsuit, people getting a $10 check back after losing countless thousands of dollars or whatever, it just doesn't make no sense. So FTC definitely has to ramp their shit up, and I really want to adopt a tone that is more akin to Harry Markopolos in this video. If I'm invited to speak next year at the MLM conference, I really want to press the FTC publicly. Hopefully my channel is a lot bigger by then, and they actually listen to me and do something.
And it is afraid of bringing big cases against the largest, most powerful firms. Mr. Manoff was one of the most powerful men on Wall Street. He owned a prestigious brokerage firm. He and his brother held numerous top-level positions on the most influential industry association boards. Clearly.
Yeah, follow up with the people who I did debates with after the fact. So I was right, huh? Oh, dude, so many hundreds of people owe me a fucking deep, deep, humble apology on their hands and knees, kissing my feet for the way they came at me, reported my Instagram, DM'd me, telling me to kill myself, all these different things about that company. And now none of them are even in the company. Even top level people with like tens of thousands of followers who made public bets with me for extreme amounts of money, saying, I bet you anything, I'll be in this company 5, 10, and 15 years from now, who weren't even in it 1 year later, owe me a massive apology.
The SEC was afraid of Mr. Madoff. The SEC says it lives for the big cases, but the evidence shows that the only financial regulators bringing the big cases in the 21st century are the New York Attorney General's office and the Massachusetts Security Division. New York and Massachusetts brought the big cases against the market timing scandals, the auction rate security scandals, while the SEC watched quietly from the sidelines. Even today, after Maryland...
What's up, Leanne? How are you? Welcome, welcome. We're manifesting tonight. We're manifesting. Hope you're doing well.
Lynch paid out $6 billion in bonuses after losing untold tens of billions of dollars, and is being propped up by government bailout money. Only the New York Attorney General is investigating. The SEC continues to roar like a mouse and bite like a flea.
Ooh, talk that shit!
Bars.
Talk that shit. Roar like a mouse and bite like a what? Bite like a bee?
Investigating. The SEC continues to roar like a mouse and bite like a flea.
What a fucking G! What a fucking gangsta. Yeah, that New York guy, I think his name was I don't remember. But yeah, I did a debate with this guy. Not even a debate, he sent me a bunch of voice memos. He was a guy who was in IM, and he was like posting on his story. Him and this guy, John Guaman, who's a career scammer too. They were posting, I'll debate anybody. If I lose, I'll give them 10 bans. So of course I respond. I was like, I'll take an easy 10 bans. Let's talk about why it's a pyramid scheme. Both of them blocked me. But not before one of them sent me a bunch of voice memos being like, hey, yo, all that suck my dick shit, that you be talking about with these people in your videos, I'm from New York, I don't play that. And then I was trying to lock him down for a time to talk. And he was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving around right now. I don't even get down like that. I ain't on that type of time right now. And I'm like, what are you saying? What language is this? You know?
But what I find the most disturbing about the Madoff case is that no one from the SEC has stepped forward to admit personal responsibility.
Bars.
Instead, all we've heard is one senior official after another saying that they cannot comment about the Madoff investigation because it is ongoing. We've also heard senior SEC officials bemoan the lack of both staff and resources while telling us that they receive thousands of tips each year and that they have to conduct triage and can only respond to the highest priority matters. I gift-wrapped and delivered the largest Ponzi scheme in history to them, and somehow they couldn't be bothered to conduct a thorough and proper investigation because they were too busy on matters of higher priority.
Talk that fucking smoke.
If a $50 billion Ponzi scheme doesn't make the SEC's priority list, then I want to know who sets their priorities. The Troubled Asset Relief Program was funded to the tune of $700 billion by the previous Congress. Therefore, I can think of 700 billion reasons why the American public deserves answers from the SEC.
Dude, imagine his frustration and the relief that he gets spitting these bars right now. 9 years earlier, almost a decade earlier, he had delivered his investigation and report to the SEC about how Madoff was running a Ponzi scheme, and they ignored him.
About his refusal to tackle the big cases and why all 5 major investment Wall Street banks under SEC supervision either failed, were forced by the government to merge with commercial banks, or became bank holding companies propped up by the Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury. When an entire industry that you were supposed to be regulating disappears due to unregulated, unchecked greed, then you are both a captive regulator.
Hey, thank you, Om Prakash Swain. I hope I'm saying that right. Appreciate you. Welcome to the cult.
And a failed regulator. You have no excuses, but you darn well have a lot of explaining to do to the American taxpayers, and you darn well better be apologizing to the Madoff victims. The incoming SEC chairwoman needs to come in and clean house with a wide broom. The SEC needs new senior staff because the current staff has led our nation's financial system to the brink of collapse. They ignored the rating agency scandals. They allowed the investment banks to engage and package and sell toxic subprime securities to investors. They ignored auction rate securities and allowed these toxic securities to be sold to investors. They ignored mutual fund market timing until embarrassed by state regulators into acting, and they ignored the Madoff Ponzi scheme. They haven't earned their paychecks, and they need to be replaced.
Woo! And they did get replaced.
This concludes my oral testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Woo! That boy,
Thank you very much, Mr. Markopolos.
that boy came in hot on ass. Fuck out of here. Let me play you a scene from The Wizard of Lies. Hopefully my stream doesn't get taken down for it. We can watch the trailer, I'm pretty sure. We can watch the trailer. Let's watch the trailer. Really good film. I really liked it. Michelle Pfeiffer as Ruth Madoff. Robert De Niro as Bernie Madoff. I mean, the appearance is uncanny. Great guy, Bernie Madoff. Great guy. Friend of mine, actually. He's a great investor, and believe me, nobody knows investing like me. It's so true. If you look at what we're doing, and it was a great thing that we did with Wall Street in New York. I own a lot of property in New York. I'm a big real estate guy. Nobody knows real estate like me, frankly. And a lot of the Wall Street guys, they're friends of mine, believe it or not. And you look at what they're doing with subprime mortgages, it's unbelievable, frankly. And with Bernie Madoff, I trust him. I think he's great. And you look at what he's doing. You look at what he's doing with the Ponzi scheme, and you look at what he's doing with Ponzi schemes, and I like him. Mr. Chairman, is he talking to someone from IM? Hilarious. Double feature, Madoff movie and Christmas in Wonderland. I actually have a video about my Christmas in Wonderland experience that I put out in December, only a few weeks before I came back to the MLM content. So, yeah. Let's watch The Wizard of Lies trailer. Maybe I should make it smaller on the screen, though, just so I don't get fucking... I don't even know if this will help me, but maybe I won't get taken down if I do it like that. Let's watch it.
I went in. I am talking about giving you $100 million.
That's not going to do it.
150.
Love to help you, but I can't.
175.
I wish I could. I'm just thinking of it.
No, 275. $300 million. How far do we got to go?
If you go above 4, we might have something.
I can do that.
Woo! Sick movie.
There's a little black spot on the sun.
How was Wall Street, Papa?
Wall Street is good.
Dad
Getting
says
demonetized.
things are about Wall Street.
You're an 8-year-old and you shouldn't be asking me questions like that. I don't feel like talking about
Dad?
Wall Street. I'm here having dinner
That's
with
enough.
my family.
Bernie, what's wrong with you?
Thank you, Om Prakash Swain. Appreciate you. We love that.
It's a fraud. Basically just a big Ponzi scheme.
What's a Ponzi scheme?
It's a great thing.
What are we going to do?
50 billion.
Hank
With a
Azaria.
B.
Mom,
Do you understand what he's done?
I'm tired of being hated. You got yourself into trouble. You couldn't get out. Why does the world hate me? They all think I'm some kind of a mastermind.
Take it as a compliment, Ruth.
You were never suspicious of your father?
If you're asking me how I didn't know, you're the FBI. How did you not know?
Sir!
I don't understand!
No, you don't understand. You don't have to understand.
What'd you do with the money?
I thought you were gonna protect me forever.
It's a witch hunt. It's a persecution.
Have you no shame?
It's Mexico. It's China.
How do you now plead to count
50 million? 50 billion.
He
50
just
billion.
guided me like roadkill.
Billions
How do you
and
plead to
billions.
count 2?
Guilty.
He took our entire life savings.
Count 3?
Guilty.
Dad, how could you do this?
Count 4?
Guilty.
Count 5?
Guilty.
Have you no shame?
Guilty. Guilty.
So
For
guilty.
16 years, I kept this secret from my wife, my sons. How I was able to do that and maintain any degree of sanity. That worries me when I think about it.
But it's my destiny to be
Such a witch hunt. So disgraceful. The fake news media going after Bernie Madoff. Great guy. One of the best. Nobody knows an investment like me. And you look at what happened with Bernie Madoff. Turn around, show the camera, show that crowd. Show the fake news media won't show that crowd. All right. Yeah, betting on zero. You might have to rent it. I have a copy, thanks to one of the goons. I believe it was Nick. Actually, I don't even remember who it was. I don't know if there was Madoff and Trump connections. Yep, it's a horrible thing, Jimmy. Horrible. What happened to his sons is big poopy. Yep. No spoilers. Nobody knows spoilers like me. By the way, another announcement. Tomorrow night, I'm streaming early, 5:30 to 7:30. 2 hours. We're going to do 2 hours. They call it 2 hours. They call it 2 hours. They call it. I saw one of that Trump impersonator on TikTok that we looked at last week. I saw another video of him linking back up with the group Blacks for Trump. And he's like, Blacks for Trump. They call it Blacks for Trump. And he goes, we meet again. They call it meet again. They call it meet again. So ridiculous. The African American Annie Duriz, she loves...
An interview with Harry Markopolos would be amazing. Wish it for you.
Me and... You know, you look at what Harry Markopolos is doing, and great guy, actually. Friend of mine, frankly. And you look at what's happened under Biden. Under Biden, there's no more Ponzi schemes. So true. We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring back Ponzi schemes. We're going to bring back so strongly Harry Markopolos. We're going to bring it back so strongly. And we're going to do it bigger. We're going to do it better. And it's unbelievable. You look at what he did, and it's a great thing he did. And Bernie Madoff, he's a dog. He died like a dog. I love that clip of Trump. He died like a dog. There's a comparison video between Obama versus Trump when they're talking about killing a terrorist. I think it's this. It's Obama talking about killing Osama bin Laden versus Trump talking about killing some Al-Qaeda guy. What? Here, let me see. I don't want to watch the Jimmy Kimmel one, but here, this is it. I'll play a little bit of this.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead. He was the founder and leader of ISIS.
It was nearly 10 years ago that a bright September day was darkened by the worst attack on the American people in our history. The images of 9/11.
Silicon Valley. 120 minutes. We call it 2 hours. We call it 2 hours. You know, some people. Oh my goodness.
Our are seared into our national memory.
Capturing or killing Baghdadi has been the top national security priority of my administration.
He died like a
U.S.
dog.
Special Operations Forces.
Wait till he says he died like a dog.
On September 11th, 2001, in our time of grief, the American people came together. On that day, no matter where we came from, what God we prayed to, or what race or ethnicity we were united as one American family.
He died after running into a dead-end tunnel, whimpering and crying and screaming all the way. The compound had been cleared by this time, with people either surrendering or being shot and killed. Baghdadi in the tunnel, and he had dragged 3 of his young children with him. They were led to certain death.
Today, at my direction, the United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
Obama's so polite with it. Look, folks, we tried to get the terrorists, and we got in there, and we got him. And Trump's like, he died like a dog. We shot him. Guns that went boom. Big guns. Big guns. We went in there very strongly. Navy SEAL guys. Nobody knows the Navy like me. And they went in there, bing, bing, and we got him.
A small team of Americans carried out the operation with extraordinary courage and capability. No Americans were harmed. They took care to avoid civilian casualties. After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He ignited his vest, killing himself and the 3 children. His body was mutilated by the blast. The tunnel had caved in on it, in addition. The thug who tried so hard to intimidate others spent his last moments in utter fear, in total panic and dread.
The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-Qaeda.
We were in the compound for approximately 2 hours. We took highly sensitive material and information.
Yet his death does not mark the end of our effort.
These savage monsters will not escape their fate.
There's no doubt that al-Qaeda will continue to pursue attacks against us. We must, and we will, remain vigilant at home and abroad. As we do, we must also reaffirm that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam.
Baghdadi and the losers who worked for him.
Calling a terrorist group losers. He died like a dog.
They were very frightened puppies.
Yeah, we took... Dude, when Obama talks about the brave soldiers of our military, they acted with the highest levels of professionalism, and they make us proud to be Americans. And Trump's like, you know, when I ran the military, they were big and they were strong. Now you go in there and now you look what's happening under Biden, and it's terrible, frankly. And the soldiers, they're like little guys, little like this. And when I was president, when I was commander-in-chief, you know, we had such a strong military, frankly. We had big guns, really big guns. Nobody knows guns like me, believe it or not. Now you look what's happening under Sleepy Joe and Obama, and it's not the same.
In other cases, they were hardcore killers.
And on nights like...
Biden be like, you know, we guys went in there, and, you know, it was 1973, and the guys, they died, and, you know, we got the terrorists, and, you know...
This one. We can say to those families who have lost loved ones to al-Qaeda's terror, justice has been done.
Baghdadi was vicious and violent, and he died in a vicious and violent way as a coward, running and crying.
We call it karma. We call it karma.
This raid was impeccable and could only have taken place with the acknowledgement and help of certain other nations and people.
Tonight, we give thanks to the countless intelligence and counterterrorism.
See, if you want to do an Obama impression, it's head high, and it's this right here. Look how my hand is. Look how my hand is right here, right? Look how my hand is. This is Obama. Pretend you're holding a little Bluetooth fucking ring light remote. That's how you do an Obama. Look, that's the speech pattern. We got what we wanted. I spoke to Michelle, and I said, listen, folks, we're going to do it right. We're going to make good things happen. And then Trump is this. Trump is this. That's Trump. And it's this. It's this. And it's this. And it's this. Hey, you know, nobody knows terrorism like me, frankly. A great military leader. That's Trump.
Professionals who've worked tirelessly to achieve this outcome.
I want to thank the soldiers and sailors, airmen and Marines involved in last night's operation.
Let us remember that we can do these things not just because of wealth or power, but because of who we are. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.
He died like a dog.
They saved the best for last.
He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place. God bless America. Thank you.
I killed him. I got him. What's happening now? What is this? Anyways, we did it.
Obama.
We did it. 1975, I went to the grocery store. We had a great day. That's Biden. He died like a dog. Obama, honestly, Obama was a G. I'm not going to lie. Obama was a G. And Trump is a G too. Listen, I keep it equal. I keep it square. I keep it equal for the peoples. You know? So, Streamlabs link in the chat. We're manifesting. I'm manifesting $1,000 tonight. I'm manifesting $1,000 in donations tonight, and I know I'm going to get it. You look what's happening under Biden. There's no donations anymore, frankly. So sad. There's no more donations. When I was in office, there was so many donations. Bing, donation, bing, bing. Super chat, we call it super chat. Anyways. We went into the compound. Huge tactics. It's huge what we did in that tunnel. If you look at what we did with the guns, we turned them into tiny little bits. We call it reconstituted mashed potatoes. That's what they call it. Not even crooked Hillary looked that bad. So true. You know. Trump is fun. All right, let's get on to the fucking title of the stream. Jay Noland. A gentleman, the former CEO of Organo Gold, the coffee MLM that David Imonitier was once a part of. I kind of like this picture-in-picture type shit. Who, as you saw in the thumbnail, thank you, Garza, appreciate you. I'll rap a Nicki song. We fill up the dono goal. You look at what happens when the dono goal is full. You never know. And then he was the founder of Success by Health, which was deemed to be a pyramid scheme. And here it is. Success by Health. Federal FTC acts to shut down Success by Health instant coffee pyramid scheme. Did Organo Gold just change their name? Is this the same company? Complaint alleges promises of wealth, empty promises of wealth led to millions in losses for participants. Shut down Success by Health, and that's all you really need to know. Let's watch this video from 5 years ago, The Truth About Residual Income. This is a Jay Noland video sent to me by Dave Vaughn. Dave Vaughn, great guy. Let's check it out. Ignacio, he woke up dead. Yeah, so true. We call it, he died in his sleep. We call it, died in his sleep. Appreciate it.
Hey, Jay Noland here. I want to do an impromptu video. This is not a professional setting, but it's going to make a lot of professional sense because it's going to...
Already off to the bullshit. We ain't you got to have a ritual, R-I-C-H-U-A-L. Hey, if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. Am I right? Hey, put a 1 in the chat. Hey.
Show
residual, yep.
You how to make professional money. And the money I'm talking about is residual income.
No, it's not.
Now, I'm going to talk some coffee with you today. I'll label this video, Let's Talk Coffee. Why? Because if you're involved in any type of direct sales business, networking business, MLM, affiliate marketing, party plan,
all these things that are different things, but we're going to conflate them all today for your confusion.
let's be honest. Everybody gets involved because at the backbone of it, you want residual income. You want money to come in over and over again, whether you work or not. If you
Not Chess Panda. Wow.
My baby is sleeping.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Thank you.
ever want to get free, you got to have residual income. And the
Thank you, Ignacio.
way you get residual income is the thing I really want to talk about the most right here. How you get residual income. Real simple. Think about it. Reorders. Say that again. Reorders. If you don't have reorders, you don't have residual income. So if you think about the teams you built or the teams you want to go build, if you got to get those, you got to get these folks doing reorders.
I might have to be Trump for Halloween, y'all. Can I do? Would it be racist if I did orange face for Trump?
Now let's talk coffee. The most reordering product I have ever seen in my 21 going on 22 years in the industry of direct sales.
Is he gonna say coffee?
The recording of this video, almost 22 years. The most reordering product ever is this product, coffee. I talked to one of my top students now of all time when I first started talking to him about coffee back in 2008. He kind of laughed. He says, Jay, everybody knows about coffee. And I said, did you hear what you just said? Everybody knows about coffee. Well, if everybody knows about coffee and most people are drinking it, let's think about it for a second. What's the chances of getting a reorder if everybody's drinking this stuff?
Drinking the Kool-Aid. It's really funny that he uses coffee as the thing that is being reordered the most, because you'll notice every product-based MLM has their own variation of this same claim. For example, in my ACN video, Nathan says, we're selling phone plans. Would I ever have to remind you to use your cell phone? No, you already know to use your cell phone. It's something people are already using every single day, so it's foolproof. Jay here in this video is saying, coffee. Everybody drinks coffee. It's the most reordered thing. Everybody knows about coffee. That's why it's the best. But you could go to any other MLM and they'll say the same thing in their own way. I've seen hair product MLMs say, well, your hair never stops growing. You always got to take care of it. You shower every day, don't you? So this is why our product is, will never be obsolete or whatever. Which, okay, if you're actually talking about coffee and your cell phone and shampoo, that is applicable, but they're wrongly applying a truth to a concept that is a scam. So you see this oftentimes with MLM presenters is they apply a crumb of truth to a loaf of bullshit. For example, they'll say, if you want to be successful in fitness, you got to show up consistently, eat right, and work hard every day. So what makes you think your business is any different? Well, that's a crumb of truth, which is the principles of fitness and hard work and whatever, which we all universally can agree with. But then they're applying it to something where the business model is structured in such a way where it's a mathematically impossible endless chain where the majority of people at any given time are on the bottom layer, thus losing money. So you're taking something... you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, essentially. And this is just verbal trickery. Yesterday, actually, can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. Yesterday, I was referred the information of a MLM recruiter. I won't say what company. And on my YouTube, I saw that this guy had commented on my channel. And then when I went to click on the comment, he had deleted the comment. So I thought, let me look this guy up. Because he commented on one of my videos and he says, he's responding to my analogy of running a burger shop. And he says, when I go to a burger store, I will not be making my own burgers. I need people like your followers, me, making $5K a month to be behind the counters. So you could tell he's upset. He's saying, he again, shitting on jobs and trying to defend his MLM. And I called him on the phone. I didn't record it because I'm a gentleman. I called him on the phone and we ended up talking for like an hour. And it was actually a great practice. It was like going to the dojo to like practice your kicks again, because I still got it. I'm still sharp. Listening to the nonsense. You know what? I heard a new one yesterday. He said, you realize everything is multi-level, right? And I was like, oh yes, here we go. This is one of my favorites. Everything is multi-level, so everything's a pyramid scheme, so your thing isn't a pyramid scheme, right? And I went on to explain to him how you could draw anything that has a hierarchical structure on paper as a pyramid. Sure, they love these examples. Well, Walmart is a pyramid. You've got the manager, the assistant manager, the cashiers, and the guy at the top makes the most. Of course, they leave out the fact that in a corporate structure like Walmart, every single person gets paid for the time that they spend on the clock. Every single person also knows exactly how much money they are being paid for an hour of their work prior to them being hired. There is transparency. It is not a mystery how much they're going to make. Also, those people at Walmart aren't paying to work there. Also, those people at Walmart are not advancing through the ranks of Walmart's system by recruiting. You don't move up from cashier to assistant manager because you recruited 3 other cashiers. So again, you're taking a crumb of truth and applying it to a loaf of bullshit. And I said this to him, and I said, you guys love to say shit like this. You love to say Walmart's the pyramid scheme, or, my family is a pyramid scheme because there's my grandma and my grandpa, and then my mom and my dad, and then me and my 2 brothers, and then beneath, and that's a pyramid. Well, I'm not becoming an uncle because I recruited 3 brothers and sisters. And I heard a new one. You know what he said to me? He said, well, if you think about it, if you keep having kids, then you will, if you have kids, then you become a dad, and then your dad becomes a grandpa, and then those kids have kids. So that's infinite too. And I was like, wow, that might be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And I said to him, first of all, having children is not a business opportunity where the incentive to make, millions of dollars and achieve time freedom and financial freedom is being told, and that's why people are going and having babies. Having children, this is probably a bad example because having children is hardwired into our nature as human beings. We want to pass on our genetics to the next generation. The upside there is not because of some deceptive business opportunity. People are having kids because they want to pass on their genetics. Also, it is not the expectation of any one person that they are going to have 1,000 kids during their lifetime. The generations continue as the older ones die. There's the saying, a man dies, a baby is born. The world turns. So I said to him, in MLM, people are expecting to duplicate and duplicate and duplicate and recruit while they are still in the company and repeat this process year after year. So it's this accelerated compounding of recruiting. That is not the same thing as having children. But he tried to say, well, yeah, you keep having children. That's unlimited too. That's an unlimited multi-level thing too. It's like, wow. And I literally said to him, I was like, do you actually hear yourself right now? And of course, he tried to pivot and go on to the next thing. And there was a few times where he was actually left stumped. And one of the times that he was left stumped was I pressed him on one thing he kept going back to. Oh, yeah, I used to have a trucking company, my trucking company, and this happened. Should I not have done that? And I ended up learning so much about him personally, which confirmed to me that he's operating off of, emotion and personal bias. And after about 30 minutes talking to him, I said, you've talked about your job at McDonald's and your trucking company and this and that, and the guy who you recruited who's making $10K a month, and he was a nurse, and if I can do it, he can do it, and blah, blah, blah. I said, you've learned nothing about me. We've been talking for 30 minutes, and the only thing I have been going off of in this conversation is math. You recruit 10 people, they recruit 10 people, it's impossible, and logic, simple reasoning. I've injected no personal agenda or bias into this. I'm trying to help you understand. And, followed by a long pause of silence, and it's really just talking to somebody so deep in the sunken place is really, really quite the experience. And I can understand why, honestly, most people who know in their heart MLM is a scam wouldn't be able to rebut these types of arguments, because these people are very skilled at twisting words and trying to make their case. They sound very convincing. What up, Josephine? Appreciate you getting on board with the manifesto. Yes.
I take responsibility.
She takes responsibility. We love to see it. Yeah. This dude reeks of bullshit. Yeah. Do it. I can be a billionaire. Mars says, please do a Trump cosplay. Yes, I'd love to. How the fuck is direct selling residual? Yeah, you reorder, says Benjamin. Exactly. I'm going to talk coffee with you today. Residual income equals reorders. Hilarious. People are obsessed with coffee. So true. I'm already buying coffee from the Target. Can I just do that? Yep. Coffee spray. Yeah, the David E. Monite literal human shit liquid spray under your tongue every day. 5K a month is supposed to be bad. Well, to him, he's such a big baller, you know. Everything does have a hierarchical structure, but the advancement up the structure is not based on an impossible recruiting endless chain. In Robert's book, Ponzi-nomics, which you can get at the link in my description, he talks about the 4 characteristics of a pyramid scheme. Pay to play, recruiting mandate, extreme money transfer from the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid. Has anyone here actually read Ponzi-nomics? Does anybody here know? No? I'm going to let somebody guess the 4th one. The MLMers always grasp for logical points, but they're never sensible when you really break them down. That's actually a great point. Goth Mama says, I love when they compare companies to pyramid schemes because the MLMs all have corporate headquarters, ergo their MLM is a pyramid scheme by their own dumb logic. I caught this guy I was talking to yesterday contradicting himself. He said, don't you realize that everything is a multi-level system? And we talked about Walmart and families and whatever. I said, okay, so everything is a multi-level system. So you're saying that your company is the same as every other system. So what makes your thing special? I thought your thing is unique. He said, it is unique. I said, but a minute ago you told me it's basically the same thing as Walmart. So is it the same? You know, when they want to make one point, it's this, it's A. And when they want to make another point, it's B. And if you try to press them, they'll do exactly what this guy did to me yesterday. Why do you care? That's your opinion. That's what you believe. You're making money off of this, so that's why you do this. You're doing the same thing because you're making YouTube videos and you got 60,000 subscribers. And if those people didn't give you money and buy your stuff, then you wouldn't make any money. So that's the exact same thing. And then I got to explain to him why affiliate marketing is not the same thing. And it's like talking to a child. It's like talking to a 5-year-old. It's insane. It's so awkward when you have an interview at a company and they immediately try to tell you why it's not a scam. I said that to him too. I was like, what other company has to go, like, why did you even comment on my YouTube video to defend your company? When you worked at McDonald's, were you going on YouTube and commenting on videos criticizing McDonald's menu items? Of course not. What company, like, doesn't it strike you that you spend so much time arguing with people and, like, you're trying to prospect people and they tell you, oh, I saw this guy Marco's YouTube video and I don't know about this. Doesn't it make you think a little bit about why this is the first opportunity in your life that is supposedly so good, but you have to do the most legwork of any job or career you've ever had to explain why it's not a fucking scam? Doesn't that confuse you on some level? Who said it? Who got the answer? Pay to play, recruiting mandate, endless chain, extreme money transfer. Sometimes I forget the extreme money transfer one because, the endless chain and recruiting mandate. Sometimes I mix those up and forget them because in my mind, they're both sort of the same thing. You're mandated to recruit infinitely. And if it's infinite, there's likely a mandate. So yeah, correct, Benjamin, you win. You win the cha-ching sound effect. Pay to play, meaning you got to pay to join the company, join for the opportunity, buy the starter kit, $500, whatever. Recruiting mandate. Oh yeah, you want to make more money? Recruit 3 people who recruit 3 people. Now you're a district bullshitter, regional vice bullshitter, senior national sales bullshitter, etc. Endless chain. Obviously, 5 by 5 by 5, you can only repeat it 13 times, and you've depleted the entire population of the planet. Extreme money transfer. The bottom layer is always the majority of people in the company. Thus, most money is going to the few people at the top. You know. Yeah, Fitzpatrick is a coward. He won't come on my podcast. Thumbs up the thing, y'all. Yes, John, they are always moving the goalpost and deflecting. So true.
So really, it's just a matter of us getting these people to drink our stuff versus something else they're drinking. Because the one thing that's happening for sure is they're going to take money out of their pocket and they're going to spend money.
This guy has the MLM dead eyes in a big way. I bet you the next thing he's going to say is, why would you go buy coffee through us instead of Starbucks? Well, does Starbucks pay you a percentage of everything you buy? No, we do. Why are you going to go out there and promote Starbucks on your Instagram story? Starbucks isn't paying you. Why don't you pay yourself for drinking coffee?
On coffee anyway, no matter what. So it's not like something they got to add to their budget. This is what you call a transfer. And so
they call it transfer. That's what they call it.
This comes down to you. See, this comes down to me. If I'm involved in the coffee business that has a residual income component to it, it's just about marketing and time and letting it duplicate. That's the power of this thing. And what you got to take a look at when it comes to residual income.
Peter Mingles in the chat says, listen, guys, I swear good MLMs exist. I swear. Just don't ask me to name one. FTC, is that you?
Take a look at this thing. And y'all gonna have to excuse me because I'm gonna get real passionate about this.
I bet.
Because I'm tired of...
Because I'm gonna get real passionate about this because I'm in a cult.
Seeing people get involved in direct sales, networking, affiliate marketing, and failing miserably because they overlook this point. They're trying to find fancy products that look fancy, and what happens is it's tough to explain. Now you tell me, when's the last time you had to explain to somebody about when to drink their coffee?
I'm in.
Do you have to remind anybody when they wake up in the morning to go drink their coffee? No, that should tell you that they're going to run out of that product sometime or another. They're going to reorder. Now,
carbon copy of Nathan saying, would I ever have to remind you to use your cell phone? Come on, guys. Nathan, you're such a rat.
Look at this. In the world, there's approximately 7 billion people in the world. So 7 billion people. Now, out of the 7 billion...
Now, let's just say, and here we go. Down the rabbit hole we go.
Let's take minus 2 billion are children. So 2 billion are children.
Here we go. He's making the case worse for himself as he removes people from the equation. Now, the number of 5 get 5 get 5 cycles that we would have to complete is considerably lower, thanks to Jay subtracting 2 billion people from the equation for us off the jump. Let's see where we get.
Y'all with me here? That leaves what? We're going to go to school, 5 billion people.
Write this down.
That's what that leaves. Now, out of the 5 billion, 80% drink coffee. 80% of the 5 billion people drink coffee every day. That leaves 4 billion CDs. Not what you play music on, but coffee drinkers.
Wow. Even 5 years ago, that was such an outdated reference.
4 billion CDs. Now
4 billion. Okay, 4 billion coffee drinkers. Let's see how many cycles it would take to get to 4 billion instead of 7 billion. Let's go. Ready? 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Sorry, I'm not even counting. 5 times 5, 25. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at 1.9 million. 9, 10, 48 million. 11, 12. Yeah, I mean, 12, I'm at 1.2 billion. If I go one more, it's 6 billion. So we're well over.
The average coffee drinker drinks around $93 a month in coffee. And for you Starbucks drinkers, you know you way blow that out of the water. But the average globally is about 93 bucks. Let's back that down to, let's just say, 50 bucks, right? We're gonna talk about 50 bucks. But before we talk about 50 bucks, let's talk about this. The goal with the company that I put together. I've been involved in healthy coffee now since 2005.
Okay.
And my companies combined have done billions of dollars in sales. And what I've done is I've passed the ball around. I've partnered up with people. I've tried to get everybody together to help them out. And I've helped a lot of people make a lot of money selling coffee.
Results are not typical. Be compliant. Be compliant. What other business would you have to say? Be compliant.
What's happened is a lot of people try to take advantage of the opportunities I provided them. So I'm done passing the ball around. I'm done. I'm now going to take the ball back. I'm going to put together a select group of people. I'm going to have these people go out and start talking to people. And if you're watching this,
thank you, Ignacio.
They think you must be one of them. They're either you are one of them, or they think you must be one of them, or you wouldn't be seen.
Artificial scarcity. You know what? I'm done trying to help people. People don't even help themselves. Now it's just a select few people that have this opportunity. Get in quick. Ground floor opportunity.
In this, because we got this on a private link. Now watch this. I'm done passing the ball around, but I'm telling you right now, I want to help pass the ball to you and have you run with me with this. But I'm not going to sit there and give it to somebody else to run. I want to pass it to you so that you can run with me, not run away from me, not take advantage of me, not take advantage of a situation, but take advantage. Y'all got me fired up.
Where'd y'all go?
I'm throwing markers.
Motherfucker just played peekaboo with me during his pitch.
Take advantage of what's about to happen. Watch this. 1%. Now we're going to get this done. I'm on fire with this. 1% is what we're going after. So out of all these coffee drinkers, let's just get at least 1%.
This reminds me of David Imonitier's Envision You pitch, where he's like, let's just say you only got this amount of people in the company. Now let's just say you were even half as successful. You'd still be making 15 grand a month. These guys are such fucking bullshitters.
In the next 5 to 7 years. It's doable, right? So 1%, watch this. 40 million CDs. 40 million. 40 million. Just 1%. Now, if they just spend, remember that $50, not $93.
We're such conservative estimates.
They just spend $50 a month on coffee. Our coffee. Success by Health. So Myco Cafe. We're going to talk about that. What does that equal? That's $2 billion per month. How many months in a year?
Okay, so if you steal 1% of the coffee drinking market globally, and each of those people is spending $50 a month, which is a conservative estimate according to Jay Noland, because his data shows that the average coffee drinker spends $93 a month on coffee. I think that's probably a bit high, but who knows? Maybe he's correct. Maybe he is correct. I don't know. So we're gonna get $2 billion a month. All right.
12 months. So that equals $24 billion per year. $24 billion per year. Now I got a compensation structure, a commission structure that I put together that's no games, man.
Imagine hearing this pitch. I put together a commission structure that's no games, man. You'd be like, I'm in, Jay. Look at Jay's eyes. Cover up the bottom part of his face. Just look at his eyes. Those are mugshot, lifeless eyes.
I done seen it all.
Lifeless, criminal, dead eyes.
20 plus years. And here's what it's time to do. No games. Let's help people get to residual income.
Is he using a fucking permanent marker on that board?
And look at that number, 24 billion. I'm gonna pay up to 50% of that 24 billion. What's that equal? That equals $12 billion payout per year. Now, how many millionaires can we create? Now, I've been telling this similar story since 2005, and people started laughing at me when I first said it. They're like, oh, coffee, come on, man. Coffee, man, come on. But guess what? Now, many millionaires later, many hundreds of thousandaires later, many 10,000aires later, many people out of their jobs, not have to work a job anymore. People ain't laughing anymore. People are listening to what I'm telling them. And now I'm going to wake up this entire direct sales industry by saying, I'm done playing games.
Mind you, this company was shut down for being a pyramid scheme. No games. That's a drop right there. No games.
Again, I'm done passing the ball around to people who don't appreciate it. I want to pass the ball around to people who want to run with me with this. Go after this $24 billion. Now, here's what's so crazy. What if we mess it up? What if we don't get 1%? What if we don't get 1%? What if we just get a 0.5%? Still 12 billion. So that number goes to 12 billion, even if we get a 0.5%.
They love doing this stuff. Starting out with the most crazy overinflated number. I mean, bro, we watched David Imonitier give almost exactly the same presentation on a whiteboard. You know, what are the odds that these MLM gurus are such amazing businessmen? All they need is a pen and a whiteboard. And all of a sudden, they have come up with the most revolutionary, most innovative, most profitable compensation structure business plan of all time. And they do this company after company, year after year, duplicate after duplicate. What are the odds?
Oh, hold on. What if we mess that up? What if we just get a 0.25%? That number is still what? 6 billion. We're still a multi-billion.
No games, just fraud. Yep.
$1 billion company. What if we just get 0.1%? We're still a $3 billion a year company.
Makes sense.
Still paying out over $1.5 billion, even if we get 0.1%. This is what's so astounding about this. We can get 0.1% and knock this thing out of the park. So all we got to figure out is four things, really. Because I really know that we're going to get this done, and we can do it based on 4 key points. Now watch this. 4 points. I call them my 4 key points. Number 1, taste.
We call it 4 key points. We call it 4 key points.
The coffee has to taste as good or better. It has to. But let me tell you something right now. We're going to win 9 out of 10 taste tests. My coffee is so off the hook. I've perfected this blend to where I'm so confident. If you're around me with people,
He was in the laboratory with the vials. He'd be like, I gotta add more of this flavor profile. Bullshit. It's some bullshit he slapped a label on.
See me not even sweat a bit. Go, look, watch this. And 9 out of 10 people.
Yeah, exactly, Benjamin. The 4 characteristics. Endless chain recruiting model, recruiting mandate, pay to play, extreme money transfer. Those are the 4 characteristics.
People are going to be like, man, that coffee is the best tasting coffee I've ever had. Why? I've got a proprietary roasting process.
Proprietary. This be a proprietary blend.
Coffee I've ever had. Why? I've got a proprietary roasting process. I don't burn the beans. And I keep the nutrient content high. Now, for all you folks that might have heard of healthy coffee, and if you haven't, let me give you a little education. We use 100% full green Arabica beans. Most instants come from broken bits and pieces. So through the roasting process, it gets broken bits and pieces. I don't mess with broken bits and pieces. Guess what that does? It costs me more money. But I know I'm going to get more volume. I'm going to get more value. I'm going to get more customer loyalty because of the content and the character and the value of our product. It's just going to pay off in the long run. So I don't want to play games with short-term profits. I want to make big-time money.
Reminds me of this one drug dealer guy who I knew once. I don't step on it. Keep it pure. It's more expensive, but it was worth it.
Big-time profits by providing a coffee that's going to knock people out of the park. Now check this out.
Yeah, great point, Bad Dog. He looks healthy. The expert on health right here. The guy with dead eyes who looks like he hasn't slept in days.
Our coffee does taste as good or better. So let's put a check next to that. Well, price.
We did it.
You got to be price competitive. You have to be price competitive. Now we're as cheap as low as 70 cents a cup. So as low as 70 cents US dollars per cup. 70 cents. Most people are spending way over $1 for a cup of coffee. So we're price competitive. Number 3 is a big one. Health. We put health in the coffee. We use the miraculous king of herbs, Ganoderma, the most oxygenating herb in the world.
We put health in the coffee.
Go on PubMed.com. Type in Ganoderma and look at all the documentation. Go to Reishi.com. REISHI.com. And you look at the information that's loaded about this herb. It's #1 in the world. I've got the purest form, guaranteed. I've got the purest form of this herb in its most potent form.
They added health to the coffee is the new, they did surgery on a grape.
I use the full body of this particular herb, and I take it into nanotechnology form. Now, let me tell you something. When you deal with nanotechnology, it's expensive.
Motherfucker just said nanotechnology? What is this, goddamn Spider-Man No Way Home?
Most people deal with extracts. I don't deal.
We got nanobots in the coffee. We got Autobots in the coffee. We use the force on the coffee.
Deal with extracts because it has to go through the digestive tract and you lose some of the potency. And how do I know that? I work with some of the
I love nanotech herbs. Who doesn't?
Most incredible mycologists in the world.
Can't even say it. A lot of the great mycologists, they're friends of mine actually. Great guys. Nobody knows no more about nanotech herbs than me.
So mycologists are the people that study medicinal mushrooms. I've got some incredible scientists that work for me. And we figured this out, that if we take it into nanotechnology form, it gets into the bloodstream fast. So people begin to feel the health benefits by the habit.
So, I mean, what's the point? This is just like David Immonitier being like, spray technology. You spray a few sprays under your tongue, it gets into your system even better than an IV. Such horseshit. Also, what's the point of doing all this to oxygenate coffee? Just breathe air. If you want to get oxygenated, you don't need coffee. We put the fucking GABA, whatever it's called, the GAB, whatever, in the coffee. The GABA in the coffee makes it more oxygenated. Use nanotechnology, get it into the bloodstream. For oxygen, just breathe.
That they have. Did you hear what I said? Coffee's not just something that people have as just a habit. I need to take that up a notch. Coffee is an addiction. So we're really selling a healthy addiction.
So we're really drug dealers. His first job was a lemonade stand with full body nanotech lemons. I mean, those are the best ones. Is butter an herb? I mean, if you believe it is, this is insane. Shoot these nanobots into you, buddy. The coffee is the fountain of youth. Yep.
It's crazy.
Breathe air. Yeah. Breathe air. You know, I should have got that. I wish I had that Andrew Tate audio right now to press at that moment where he's like, breathe air.
So check that one, baby. So #4.
We have a USB drive inside the bag with the coffee beans so that the data can be transferred into them. Every bag of coffee has 1 terabyte of information from PubMed. You got to get that into your bloodstream, you guys.
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
We pay you. We pay you.
Wow.
So 4 points. It tastes as good or better. It's price competitive. We put health in the cup. And then we pay you. Big old check mark.
Wow.
So based on those 4 key points, my question to you is this.
Are you ready?
Can we get at least 1% of the market? And the worst case, can we get at least 1/8% of a market and still be a multi-billion-dollar company? Can we do it? Yes.
Jay the scammer, can we do it? Jay the scammer, no we can't.
So you can't shake me off of this. I've been...
The ancient aliens guy meme. Coffee, yeah. Literally.
Trying to help a whole lot of other people partner up and work with me.
Big old mind.
Because they worked out good. You know what? Because
if this is such a sick idea, Jay, why were people that you passed the ball to dipping out on you? Why do people not fuck with you on this?
Because there's so much money involved with coffee, people get greedy. So I'm done with that. I just want to work with people who see this, give them a no-nonsense compensation plan. Now, I've got a 6-phase commission compensation plan. It's off the charts because it's so simple.
I created a chart, and it's off the charts. It's so simple.
The sophistication
Here we go.
is in the simplicity. See, here's what I say. Number one, you ready for this? Number one, retail. So when you get involved in direct sales or networking, affiliate marketing, retail, you got to go sell the product or else you're not going to make it. If you go build a team, if these people can't sell the product, y'all already know that's going to crash.
But let me guess. Hey, thank you, European cutie. Appreciate you.
up the team.
Appreciate you. Thank you for joining the cult. Very interesting. Let me guess. Retailing, selling to a new recruit who also signs up for the monthly reorders of the coffee for themselves. That counts as a retail, right? Let me guess.
So retail, actually having an opportunity to sell the product. Well, when you got coffee, you're going to have people make consistent sales. That's what I found. You know, you're going to make on average $45 profit per customer in my experience, because they're going to take about 3 boxes of coffee per month. That means if a person just gets 10 extra customers, that's an extra $450 a month that they can put in their pocket. That's right now money. That changes households. You know, if the average household just got $300 extra a month coming in, the average household that...
All this shit is so presumptuous and so made up out of thin air. Oh, the nanotechnology. Oh, well, let's say we just got 0.25% of the market share. Let's just say you got 10 people. Let's just say this. Let's just say that. Let's just say anything is the whole premise of this.
Files bankruptcy. 85% of them would not have to file bankruptcy with just an extra 300. Okay. So if we can help the average person just get 10 customers, we're keeping 85% of the population that files bankruptcy out of bankruptcy. Is that awesome? Awesome. It's awesome. So we have a cool plan to be able to have people get some right now money. What if you got 100 customers? That's an extra $4,500 a month. That's an extra $54,000 a year. Now, does that happen? I've watched it happen over and over since 2005. People really replacing their income just selling the product. But then I keep moving. See, the
fact that this guy has been, you know, his company has been decided that it is a pyramid scheme and he is still not in jail, it's still not a criminal offense, is so stunning to me.
Phase of
Where'd it go? Where'd the video go? The fuck? Refresh. Where is refresh? Properties. How do I do this again? Oh, there it is.
Since 2005, people really replacing their income just selling the product. But then I keep moving. See, the second phase of our commission plan is where we allow people to really benefit from an auto order program. So rather than it just benefiting the company with consistent sales, which is what we want, consistent volume, let's make it a great benefit to the people who are out there moving the product, who are a part of what we're doing. So if you just set up an auto order, we'll give you a 5% rebate. Every auto order you got, 5% rebate. Set up an auto order. Then we say we got 3 parts to this auto order program. 5% rebate if you find 5 other people that you personally refer to the company.
Here it comes.
And then they're doing an auto order of at least $100.
What do you mean $100? You told me you would only have to spend $50 and we would be on our way to billions.
We'll give you, I'm sorry, not even 100, 60. I broke it down.
Oh, sure. Nice save.
About 3 boxes of coffee. If they're doing an auto order of about 60, we'll give you $65 product credit the next month. So more. So 5 people on a $60 auto order, you get a $65 product credit.
So if you bring in $300, we'll give you in-store credit of $65. Already bullshit.
The next month. If you get 10, we'll give you a $130 product credit.
Genius. Don't give them cash. Give them product credit so it comes back to you. AKA, you're not giving them anything.
Plus, we'll pay for the shipping on those products. So now you're not paying any money for anything.
Okay, so 5 and free. Or actually, I guess in this case, it's get 10 and free.
Your coffee's coming in free, and you get some extra money to be able to use for other products. Awesome.
For other products, exactly. Oh, great. You're bringing me a bunch of money? You're getting coffee that's basically worthless because what's the overhead on coffee grounds? Nothing. I just slapped a label on it and, told you a bunch of bullshit, nanotechnology, whatever, to make you hype on it. I'm making a bunch of money. You're making nothing. Plus, you're going to make some extra cash to give me some more money with. You're going to make some more cash that you can give to me as well. It's awesome.
Then we've got a accelerator program.
Oh, wow.
Which is getting people fast commissions.
Okay.
So we've got a $500 pack, just one pack, $500 that we offer as an accelerator pack.
Oh, so the starter kit. I've never heard it referred to as an accelerator pack. I'll have to remember that one.
And if you sell that pack, you make $125 every single time you sell that pack.
So I am going out there to sell a $500 package, and I am getting a $125 commission. So 20-some%? Okay, 25%?
$125 every single time. Plus with the other bonuses, you get another $25, so you're getting about $150 for every pack. So you sell 3 or 4 of those packs, you get money back plus pure profit.
Just get 10 people, then just sell 3 people a month the accelerator. 500, it's easy. Let's just say you sold. Let's just say we got 1/15 of the market share. You making $12 million a year.
Then we've got a 6-tier commission program.
Okay.
That pays 10%, 6, 4, 3, 2. So 10% through your website. So you will order through your website. So be an affiliate. Think about this. If you set up on an auto order, you're getting 5% rebate. When you order through your site as an affiliate, we give you 10% as a commission back. Anybody else that orders through your site, you get 10%. Now, what's your chances of getting those 10%? What's your chances with coffee? How many 10% can you get, right? Just imagine that. Look at everybody walking around drinking coffee now. That's your money. You just got to talk to them and pick up 10%.
That's your money. Look at everybody out here driving a car. That's your money.
You personally refer, they become an affiliate. As they start driving traffic to their store, you get 10% off of all orders that come through their store. And when they refer somebody, 6% off of those orders, and then 4%, and then 3%, and then 2%. What can that equal? Walk away residual income to where you never have to work again.
So simple. Remember he said the innovation is in the simplicity? Who could in their right mind calculate their downline levels? That's why they literally sell software, MLM software, which has calculators to calculate these complex, impossible to wrap your head around compensation plans. How are you supposed to know, okay, yeah, this guy is my direct, so I get 10% off what he sells. Then that guy below him is in my second generation, so he gets, I get X% off him. Who could even keep track of this? A supercomputer. Maybe the nanobots are doing it.
Now, if you've got residual income coming in from coffee, what's the probabilities of people stopping drinking coffee? Like 0 to none.
0 to none. 0%, we call it none. We call it none, 0%.
You're going to have a consistency here that you've never had before. I'm telling you.
Accelerator pack of the interdimensional nanotech space package. Fuck.
That's how powerful it is.
So am I an affiliate, a customer making free money, or a salesman? Hey, man, that's the beauty of it. Hey, Joey K, the beauty is in the simplicity. The innovation is in how simple it is. It's all of it and none of it.
Then what we do is we put together a very important part of our program for developing leadership in affiliates. See, we're an affiliate program, so we're not a networking company.
All right.
We're not competing when it comes to networking or MLM or direct sales. We're just an affiliate company that has a sophisticated multi-tier facet to it.
We're not an MLM. We're just an affiliate company that has a sophisticated multi-level system to it where if you recruit 5 people or 10 people, you get this incentive and we'll pay you based on that. But it's not a multi-level. So we have no competition. We just need to get 1/85th of the market share and we'll have a $12 billion company.
And while I say why we're not competing is because you don't have to place an order at all with us to get commissions. You can
0%, we call it none. We call it zilch. We call it 0. You know? 0%, we call it not. So fucking funny.
You come in, become an affiliate, it's $49, and people go to your store and they order, you get 10%. If you
Okay, so pay to play, check. Recruiting mandate, check. Extreme money transfer, check. Endless chain, check.
You refer somebody and there's orders coming through their site, you get 10% whether you place an order or not. So that's a true affiliate program to where you don't have to order anything to get paid.
It's not a true affiliate program. A true affiliate program would be you put the link on whatever platform you use to advertise to people, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. People want to buy it. They click on that link. They buy it. It's a one and done. They're not signing up under you to become an affiliate for that same product, and then you get a percentage off what they sell. That's a pyramid scheme.
But if you start developing people that are leadership, so affiliate leaders, you can get a 4-generation infinity bonus.
You can get the interdimensional time traveler bonus. The nanobots will personally come to your house and do a singing telegram for you. Dude, all these words just to sound so fucking fancy.
You can get a 4-generation infinity bonus.
A 4-generation infinity bonus. Okay, so on endless chain, there you go. Infinity. Insane, bro. Their competition is against all the other coffee retailers. Exactly. Johnny brings up a good point, too. Try to convince a coffee drinker to change their coffee. I dare you. Somebody else brings up a good point. Bad Dog. People spend $90 on coffee from Starbucks and Dunkin' because they don't have time or don't want to make it at home. Exactly. They pay a premium for convenience. So how does this guy's product help any of those coffee drinkers? Exactly.
Between 1 to 4.
We'll just leave all that info out. Don't worry about it.
4% through 4 generations. Again, that could be walkaway income because that takes you past your 6th tier down through infinity in some cases.
So, and literally red flag pyramid scheme right there. The fact that it took him multiple years to get shut down for being a pyramid is insane. Joey K says, if it's an affiliate company, how about you just keep the coffee and send me a code to give out when other people use that code? It gives me a small piece of the money and bypass all the other bullshit. Exactly. Why do I need to pay $49 to join the opportunity? I thought this was supposed to be simple, Jay.
You'll see people getting paid on their 50th and 100th tier because of that infinity bonus.
What an idiot. 50 tiers. Remember, the 5 get 5 model can only go to 12 tiers, and you've already surpassed a billion people, 1.9 billion, right? By yourself. And remember, he did the math there. We're trying to get 1% of the market share. We only need, there's this many 4 billion coffee drinkers, 4 billion CDs. One more level, you've exceeded the whole population of the planet.
So that's powerful. Then on top of that, we throw in, and this bonus is amazing.
Here we go.
A $1+ million BAM bonus.
A BAM bonus. Just throwing all the fancy sounding shit out the window. A bing bong bonus. We're going to give you a pee pee poo poo bonus. We're going to give you the bonus. It's going to be amazing. We are going to give you the
that you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
Bonus, and it is going to be incredible.
You're fucking poor. Obama.
Insane.
It's amazing. A $1+ million BAM bonus. $1+ million. We're going to pay out over $1 million to folks who duplicate the power of 10. Find 10 people personal that are on at least $100 order every month.
Wow.
Once they have 10, so 10 by 10, we'll pay you a $1,000 one-time bonus. When you help your 10 do the same thing, they'll get 1,000, you'll get 10,000. When those 10 help their 10 do the same thing, those people that are your front tiers are going to get 1,000. Second tiers get 10,000. You get 100,000.
A 10 by 10 model. The fucking nuts on this guy. Let's do the math. 10 by 10 is 100. Let's go again. 2, 3, 4. I'm at 4 levels. 100,000 people. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm at 8 levels and 1 billion people. 8 levels. If I go to the 9th level or the 10th level, obviously I have 10 billion people. So, all right, cool.
And then the next tier, you pick up $1 million by helping your front tier get the $100,000 bonus.
The Obama bonus.
And they're helping their people get the 10,000 who are helping their people get the 1,000. So it's going to really be powerful watching the duplication take over here.
So strongly. 0%, we call it none. Oh, fuck, David.
So there you have it. We got a powerhouse commission plan. We got a product that nobody's going to be able to compete with. And we got the thing that you're looking for the most. What's that thing? What did we start out talking about? Residual income. Residual income. The thing that you've got to have to get free. I just showed you.
Exactly. Jared, why didn't you start with the $1 million BAM bonus? Give me that. You get $1 million. You get $1 million.
A powerhouse plan to get it. So when we talk about let's talk coffee, I'm talking about residual income.
So when I said let's talk coffee, I'm completely lying. I'm selling you a pyramid scheme.
Right to coffee, and that's a powerhouse plan. Now, I showed you my plan. See this marker? If I handed the marker to you, you've shown me your plan that can beat that plan. And I've sat there and showed that to many people. Said, show me a plan that's more simpler than that. And most people can't take the marker. And I don't think...
Yeah, because you're writing something that's impossible. You're making it up. You're writing down a complete fraud, a scam. Okay, give me the marker. I'll write it down. Ready? Here we go. I got you guys. I'm going to write down an even better model. Let's do this. All right. Here's my whiteboard right here. All right, Jay Noland, I'm going to write down an even better business model for you here. Ready? Here we go. So, here's me. All right? Actually, this is you. Never mind. This is me. Here's the business model. You give me $1,000. You see that right here? 1,000. You see that? $1,000. So you give me 1,000. Now, what happens next? You get another person. They also give me 1,000. So now I've got 2,000. Right? Check this out. I'm going to give each of you $10 back. So you see how it works? It's so simple. We keep it simple. That's what makes it amazing. I'm going to give you each 10 and $10, $10. So now, check this out. You guys have each got $10. So I paid out 20. I got 2,000. So what do I have left? I've actually got, let's write this, make it simple, right? 1980. All right? 1980 is what I got. Now, all you have to do to get another $10 is go get another person to do this. Now, you might be wondering. Here we go.
The balls on this guy. He does great math, one of the best maths, frankly. This man is one of the best salesmen I've known. This man is a great friend, a longtime friend, good guy, great guy, honest guy, one of the best guys. But nobody better than Trump.
Thank you, David. So true. So, it's very simple. You might be wondering, how do you make your money back? Well, you have to understand something. I have hired the best psychic mediums who exist, the best paranormal investigators, and they have access to real ghosts, real live dead people. And they are going to consult those ghosts. Every time you get a new person to join the company, I'm going to use some of that money. I'm going to give you some back, so it's a true affiliate program. And for the sake of simplicity, let's just say that I have 10 ghosts who can shapeshift and phase through walls. And I got to keep them on my payroll and keep the scientists on my payroll. But what you get is the access to speak directly to those beings. You might be speaking to an orb or the ghost of a small child from China who doesn't even speak English. China. And they are going to tell you wisdom that is so beyond the level of our basic understanding right now. So when I say coffee...
Gabby Horse Ghost.
Exactly. Thank you, Johnny. So when I say coffee, what I really mean is paranormal beings. Could be from this dimension, could be from another dimension. And we have a system where I am going to make billions and you could potentially make very little. But that would be my response. That's a better plan to me. What do y'all think?
If you can take the marker either. I think you just need to join us in what we're doing and start sharing in this 50%. These billions of dollars we're going after. I'd love to be able to have you lock arms and let's finish this the right way. I'm on a mission. Got a little chip on my shoulder because I've been good to a lot of people. A lot of people try to take advantage of me.
Such a victim, such a generous hero.
But now, no more games. I'm going to navigate right to the top of the coffee industry. And I'd like to take you with me. Welcome to Success by Health.
What a fucking dickhead.
See you soon.
What a dickhead. What a fucking cock. All right, let's watch Jay Noland, his discrimination story. I love that he ended that one off with his victim story because now we're going to see a video of him talking about how much of a victim he is. Ready? Here we go. I think this one's about racism, but this one was also sent to me by Dave Vaughn, so we're going to check this out. The plan is a bunch of scribble scrabble. Nonsense. You have to believe, Johnny. Bug says, Jay Noland hands you a black marker. Do you accept his generous offer? Of course. Hope you guys wrote that down. Real live dead people now. Come on. Here we go.
Hey, this is Jay Noland. I felt like I just had to talk to you because I got to get it out. I'm being discriminated against as a black CEO in this.
But the FTC is attacking me. Watch.
This country of the United States of America. We all know what's going on with the current protest, the racial tensions.
No, I swear to God, if he uses this to like alley-oop a promotion for his MLM, I mean, we already know that's where he's going, but.
Happening in this country. And I think it's important for all of us that are going through.
Great wisdom, Bad Dog. Bad Dog says, if I handed you the marker, you'd have the marker. Very deep. Very deep. As David Imonitier once said on his Instagram story, keep your eyes on the prize and you will see the prize. Grown-ass fucking man.
Through some type of discrimination, that we speak out. You know, we've been suppressed to being silenced for so long because if we try to speak out, you know, we've had the establishment that's trying to just shut us down. And so I can't be quiet anymore. I am from Kentucky. I'm from the South. I was born in 1968, just a few months after.
Wow, he's the same age as my dad.
Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. And there was so much turmoil going on, I guess, when I was born. My parents told me about it, about all the racial tension.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Bug. 146 likes and 147 watching. Make it make sense. Y'all let me down, bruh.
And divide that was happening. Growing up in Kentucky, poor, my grandfather had a hog farm, and I spent most of my time out on that hog farm assisting him.
This sounds like the origin story of a black person in the 60s written by a white person. Let's see. He was born in the 60s after Martin Luther King died. Ooh, his grandpa had a hog farm. Ooh, that's good. That's good.
And working with him. If you don't know anything about slopping hogs, it's very humbling.
Slopping hogs! Slopping hogs. We call it slopping hogs. Fuck. Oh, buddy. Slopping hogs means something a little different around my... Slopping hogs. If you know anything about slopping hogs, I watched the video. I watched the video recently. They were slopping hogs in it.
In him and working with him. If you don't know anything about slopping hogs, it's very humbling. And
it's very humbling. Slopping. I'm so humble. Joey K says these dudes post shit like, quote, watch who you trust. Even your shadow leaves you in the dark. For real. She ain't from Kentucky, but she's slopping hogs. There's a bar in there somewhere, bro. The way she's slopping this hog, I don't know. Thought she was from Kentucky, the way she's slopping this hog. Literally fucking stupid. Just like Lower the Boom.
We didn't have much. I can remember being a little boy, and I can remember having people chasing me. I go to the store, and I never will forget this group of white gentlemen in this truck. They started chasing me, and I was running down the street.
Literally something he saw in a movie.
I'll be slopping hogs later
yeah, you
tonight.
will. Yes, you will. Thank you, Johnny. Slopping hog. Rosie O'Donnell, I call her Slopping Hogs the dog. It's hurting my voice now. He died like a dog.
They were yelling, hey, we're going to get us an N-word today.
Literally saw it in a movie.
And I was able to escape them and get in the store.
Read it in a book and decided to make this video.
And the store owner made me stand there until
Peace out beyond.
It was safe passage for me to come out. And so when you go through that and you keep adapting and overcoming anyway, you will reach a boiling point. I think that's where I'm at today.
So again, this is like moving the goalpost, having your cake and eat it too. How is it that he's such a successful businessman, multimillionaire, but now he's saying I'm being discriminated against? You can't have it both ways, bro. Either you're an underdog who overcame the odds and you have this innovative business plan and you're such a good businessman and now you're a success against all odds, but now you're making this video talking about being discriminated against. This guy is a leech. This guy is a predator. Just, I mean, look at him. Just leeching off of the fucking social movement at the time. In my new video, you're going to see a gentleman in the company that this video is based on. And he talks about, in a clip from 2009, the world is in a crisis. The economy is down. People are scared and fearful and struggling. And of course, that leads into his pitch about why now is the time to become an entrepreneur, aka join his MLM. Fast forward to a clip from 2020. The crisis of COVID. People are looking for a way. People are getting laid off. They need a way. Now is the time to become an entrepreneur. And then says join his MLM. This is no different than that.
And to think that 50 some years later,
Jussie Smollett type shit right here.
Half a century later.
Yeah, and then my friend Atticus Finch said, yeah, my lawyer Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird.
We're still dealing with severe discrimination.
This is from A Time to Kill. Love it.
It's just unthinkable. You know, a government agency of all people, the one that should be protecting me, is literally, in my opinion, discriminating against me. And they've been terrorizing me for almost 2 decades.
Who? Who? How? Why? And now who? What's your who?
Ever since the year 2000. Why? Because I'm involved in an industry, in my opinion, that provides equal opportunities.
Wow. What a fucking cock. What a bad person. There's no name I could call this guy that does it justice. What a bad person, using the civil rights movement and climate of 2020 to talk about how he's being discriminated against because he's in an industry that gives equal opportunity. I've heard it a billion times, and it's the same crock of shit every time.
Especially to minorities.
Wow. Yeah, equal opportunity. Bro, MLM takes advantage of minorities at a disgusting, disproportionate rate.
Also to women, to religious organizations, to senior citizens.
By the way, what he's saying, the truth behind his words is not that he provides a level playing field, especially to people of color, senior citizens, women. He preys upon and causes damage and loss to people in those communities. I can't believe this is real. Wow, uploaded by a channel called Civil Rights Moment. Wow.
But again, especially to minorities, it provides so much equal opportunity. And me being one of the few black CEOs in the world,
wow,
and having a lot of success being so, I've just been targeted, and now it's time for it to stop. I literally was served a lawsuit back in January of 2020. That
wow.
was ex parte. That means.
Wow. So he is literally on his Peter Mingles. Look, it says right here, Federal Trade Commission plaintiff versus Jay Noland. Amended order. This is when they freeze a company. Ex parte means the judge only hears one side of the story and takes a temporary action based on that when it's an emergent situation. So the FTC, obviously they're the FTC. When they do their investigations and they go to a judge, there is a high chance that they are going to get an ex parte judgment granted against the defendant in their favor, because the judge is trusting that the FTC knows what the fuck they're talking about. The onus is then on the person who received the order, the amended order here, for them to go to court and say to the judge, all right, look, judge, they've frozen my business. Let's hash it out in court. They're saying I'm a pyramid scheme. Here's why I'm not. Do. That's what that means. Jay Noland in this video is trying to say, that he is being racially persecuted, attacked for his skin color by the FTC. Can you believe it?
Served a lawsuit back in January of 2020 that was done on an ex parte. That means that a government agency did a private investigation in which they used, testimony or a statement from an ex-white staff member of mine.
What he's referring to is former distributors explaining how they lost money. And it's very likely that it was not just a single person who did this. Anytime an MLM has been taken to the point of actually being shut down, usually lots of people had to come and say something in order to alert the FTC to the problem and get the FTC to raise that issue to the top of their priority list to actually look into it and allocate resources to investigating and prosecuting it. And the way Jay tells it is, well, they got an ex-white staff member, an ex-staff member who happened to be white, like he wasn't white, he's transracial, you know. They got an ex-staff member who happened to be white, and that's what all this is from. Dude, Jay Noland, black, white, brown, you are a fucking piece of shit for this. Fuck you, Jay Noland.
Testimony or a statement from an ex-white staff member of mine who got upset because him being married with 3 children had an extramarital affair with my white executive assistant, and I wouldn't allow it.
What the actual fuck are you talking about, bro? Sounds like an HR issue. Dude is literally sitting, by the way, Jay Noland, how do you explain, if this is true, which it's not, then how do you explain the fact that the FTC is suing you for being a pyramid scheme? How does that have to do with any of this other shit? Like, how would the affair, whatever, this made-up situation you're talking about, how would that at all inform the FTC's investigation about you being a pyramid scheme? How would that show up anywhere? How would that influence it at all?
I terminated her from our company.
Yeah, they don't want to see a brother scam. No shit. If the logic is there, it's not racist.
And then I put him on a deep and a strict disciplinary action agreement, and he ended up revolting against me. And he used my color against me, in my opinion. Basically saying, here's this black man that won't let me do what I want to do with this white woman.
What a fucking bullshitter. Hi, I'm Jay Noland. I'm a black man in America. I want to scam people for a living, but they won't let me because I'm black. This has to stop. This is insane. Yeah, if they were black, I would allow it. Exactly. Yeah, Jay, did you only have a problem with the, what if the supposed people in this story who were having an affair, supposedly, what if they were black and they went to the FTC? Or would you have not stopped them if they were black? You would have let them have the affair if they were black? Or if they were black and went to the FTC, would it have been racism then? It's actually racist of Jay Noland to imply that race. By the way, this whole thing we know is made up. But anyways, we're gonna read the FTC. We're gonna read the FTC allegations right after this.
And who was he to tell me what I can and can't do? Again, that's just my belief system. Those are probably not his exact words, but that's how it's come about, because with skewed or cherry-picked evidence, I literally have had all of my assets frozen. The two white individual businessmen that have stood out publicly with me and said that we're going to take the race issue on and we want to bring equality, and we realize that we have a black CEO, and that they decided that they wanted to be vocal about it. Well, they got sued too. And so when you...
So then it wasn't about race. So if your two white executives also got sued, that means two white dudes got sued and one black guy got sued. But the whole thing is about racism? How? Explain.
You think about the culmination of all of that, you ask yourself why. You ask yourself, do I have to ask myself, do I have constitutional rights? You know,
the fact, dude, the nuts on this guy. The fact that operating a pyramid scheme isn't even a criminal offense when it absolutely should be. You look at the amount of financial harm that it does to people, how it destroys people's relationships, destroys their self-esteem, makes people commit suicide, brainwashes people, like fucks with the very nature of their being. It should absolutely be a criminal offense. Jay Noland, shut the fuck up, take the L, and go disappear quietly with whatever money you have saved in the mattress or under your bed. It is not even a criminal offense to run this type of scam, which is absurd. Jay, you already have won the lottery by getting away with this shit for whatever you said, since 2005 or whatever you said. And you're going to sit here and make this fucking bullshit video trying to say that it's about race? What the actual fuck are you on, bro? What is in that coffee that you're just serving up? What are the nanobots saying to you, bro? Wow. Wow. You're like, understand, this guy is not even facing jail time. Wow. Peter literally talked about this a few weeks ago. Yeah, Peter has nice things to say about Jay Noland, amazingly.
Do I have rights to our amendments of our Constitution? Well, it doesn't seem so. It seems like I'm being treated as less than a man. Because back in May of 2019, last year, when I found out they were investigating me, which they were doing secretively, and
of course they're doing it secretively. It's the feds. It's the FTC. It's the government. Federal Trade Commission. What do you mean? You wanted them to knock on the door? Hey, Jay Noland, are you running a pyramid scheme? No? All right, sorry to bother you. What the fuck do you mean? Saying secretly like they were doing some dirty shit. Of course they're doing it secretly. Imagine a guy who got busted for fucking selling drugs. Well, turns out the police have been investigating me secretly, and then they showed up at my door at 5 a.m. to conduct a sting operation with the SWAT team, and now I'm facing charges over it. This ain't right.
What you were about to witness is real. The participants are not actors.
What a fucking goof.
Last year, when I found out they were investigating me, which they were doing secretively, and one of my banks tipped me to it and exposed that I was being investigated through a subpoena of my bank records. When I reached out to them through my attorney, my white attorney of 30 plus years as an attorney.
Oh, if it isn't the consequences of my actions, we meet again.
Reached out to them and said, hey, in essence, please don't shoot. Hands are up.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. This civil lawsuit, this piece of paper that I got that froze my assets because I'm a criminal running a scam, my lawyer responded to it by essentially saying, don't shoot, my hands are up. Wow, what an absolutely dirty, slimy fucking thing to say. With a smirk on your face. So disrespectful. Wow. The fucking balls on this guy. What a psychopath. To piggyback on the BLM marches and whatever, and the whole social climate where people were actually getting shot and killed by police, innocent people being shot and killed by police, is somehow similar, Jay, to you being served a piece of paper that says, hey, you've been getting away with scamming since 2005. Now we're putting a stop to it. And with a smile on your face, you're alive. You're not even facing prison. You're not even being prosecuted like the way you should be, in my opinion, for this. You should be under the jail for the amount of people you've harmed with your pyramid scheme career. And you put out this fucking video talking about, I'm less than a man and this is racism and we're going to fight racism and I'm being attacked by the FTC and they're secretly investigating me and my white lawyer. Look at the thumbnail for this video. This is the thumbnail he chose for this video. Him smiling. Please don't shoot. Hands are up. Dude, you're wearing a ring and a nice watch and a suit and you're shooting this well-produced video with the blurry background and the lav mic. You're obviously okay. You're obviously okay. You obviously are not in the same position as somebody who needs to put their hands up saying, please don't shoot. This might be the most disrespectful and low thing that I have ever seen from an MLM recruiter. This might actually be the bottom of the barrel, most deplorable, scummy, cowardly, crooked behavior I have ever seen from an MLM recruiter. And I think about all I've seen. Think about all that we've watched on these streams, all the bullshit we've heard, all the nonsense moving the goalpost and comparisons and analogies and lies that we've heard. Absolutely, wretched. Absolutely wretched. Wow. Dave Vaughn, thank you for sending this to me. I can't believe this.
Reached out to them and said, hey, in essence, please don't shoot. Hands are up.
In essence, please don't shoot. Hands are up. Or please don't shoot. Hands are up. You were not in danger. The fact that he's elevating this to such a level just shows how psychotic this guy is. No accountability. Just gaslighting. No, they're attacking me. This is because of racism. Wow. Confusing. Racism didn't seem to stop you from running this scam for the last, since 2005, however many years that is, 18 years. Or I guess this was 2020, so 15 years. But now all of a sudden, the racism is coming to get you. That racist FTC, right, Jay? Wow. I hope Jay Noland sees this one day. Jay Noland, you're an absolute deplorable human being. Seriously, I don't ever. I like to think I'm a person that wishes the best for everybody, and this career that I've chosen of investigating MLM has really made me question my own philosophies about what do people deserve to happen to them. You know, people who say, oh, I wouldn't wish death on this person. I would never wish death on anyone. But it really is hard sometimes for me to look at the amount of harm that people in MLMs are willingly, purposefully doing to thousands of people without any remorse, leaning the other way. Not only not having remorse, finding joy in it, making a joke out of it. Look, he's smirking. And it really makes me wonder, you know what? Can I truthfully say that? Can I truly say that I don't wish anything bad happened to this guy? Can I truly say the world is a better place with him in it? If I had a red button in front of me that I could press and it would say completely painlessly, this dude would drop dead, I would actually have to consider it, because maybe he has kids and those kids are innocent, and his wife and whoever else, people that care about him, there are innocent people who would be negatively impacted by him not being here anymore. And that makes me question my own sensibilities and moral compass as a human, right? But at the same time, I'm weighing that against him perpetrating another 15 years of countless millions of dollars of harm to people. Who knows how many relationships have been destroyed because of somebody's involvement in a scam that Jay Noland charismatically sold to somebody. How many relationships it's destroyed. How many financial futures it's destroyed. How many people have committed suicide. Obviously, there was a significant amount of harm done to get to the point where the FTC decided, you know what? We're going to shut this guy down. We're going to sue him for running a pyramid scheme. For that to happen, I mean, think about it. There are more than 1,000 MLMs out there just in the US. And the FTC has pretty limited resources. The FTC is responsible for all consumer issues. They have to deal with pyramid schemes. They have to deal with scam calls. They have to deal with crypto frauds, Forex. They have to deal with all of it. And somehow you, Jay Noland, managed to reach a level of priority in the FTC that they decided to shut you down. And you have the absolute gall to make a video saying that it's because of race. Joey K says, I got punished for committing a crime. I'm basically MLK, literally. Wow.
We're willing to cooperate. What do you want to know? We got an open book policy. They rejected that. They ended up saying in their court papers that they rejected it as not being credible. I guess me being black, offering my cooperation.
Of course it's not credible. How are your own books going to be used as evidence for the FTC? That does nothing for them. The whole thing you're being accused of is deception at a massive scale. You think your own report, which you could fudge to say anything you want, is going to be the thing that makes the FTC go, he's telling the truth. Well, how do we know? Because he told us. Your Honor, my client is innocent. Okay, how do you know? He says he's innocent. That's basically his argument right here. Dude, this is the lowest shit. I can't believe he's done this. Seriously.
My hands up. Are there any issues? I guess that's not credible.
Yeah, what next? The FTC has its knee on my neck. I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
In this country.
I've seen it all now.
We're still dealing with severe discrimination.
Wow, I've seen it. I've seen it all.
Just unthinkable to think that I would sit in a courtroom and have government agencies, expert witness, their key witness that is witnessing against me, stand on a stand, and when she was asked a question about a report that she had done in comparing direct sales to the KKK, to the Ku Klux Klan, why would she do that? She mentioned that most people are intrigued by the KKK. And I began to ask around, is anybody that's in my friends or family, are y'all intrigued by the KKK? And everybody said no. Are you intrigued by the KKK?
Wow.
And so I know that I'm frustrated with it. I know many other minorities and people of color are frustrated with it. And I just want to come out and speak and say something about it. And hopefully this inspires you. If you got discrimination going on in your life, or you know others that are discriminated against, don't be quiet. Don't be silent. Speak up about it. So I'm putting it all on the line, just saying it the way it is, just telling the truth. I've got attorneys that are representing me right now. I'm in a lawsuit to where they froze all of my assets, me and my partner, my wife. They embarrassed me with my 4-year-old son at the time by serving me at the LAX airport when I'd flown back in. They've made up lies. They've sensationalized things that typically I've never seen done, but because I'm a black man, I guess they felt that they could get away with doing a modern day business public lynching, and people wouldn't say anything about it. So hopefully you'll spread this message to other people about this injustice and other injustices, and maybe we can bring this to light and have our Constitution be real and be equal for all Americans in this country. Appreciate you listening.
Wow. For him to use the word lynching as an allegory for what's happening to him. So, and my hands are up. Absolutely the most despicable thing maybe that I've ever seen from an MLM recruiter. Absolutely the worst thing that I've ever seen thus far anyways. I'm not gonna he still has Instagram. He's still posting on Instagram. He's still a free man. He's still got his family. The fact that he was literally did this and was dead ass about it. What an absolute psychopath. What an absolute piece of shit. All right, let's look at the what the actual case said. This absolutely did beat. This is up there with Scott Johnson saying that his experience in Amway, where he was taken advantage of financially, was comparable or the same feeling as women who have been you-know-whatted. Wow. Wow. He's still selling the coffee. It's not MLM again yet. Wow. 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 That was the most disrespectful thing. The most tasteless, tone-deaf, treacherous thing I've seen. All right, let's look at the actual thing. Give me a minute, though. I just gotta piss real quick. I gotta go piss on a picture of Jay Noland real quick. All right, I'm back. Wow, man. Yeah, I can't believe that. Him really saying, he really used the word lynching to describe the FTC coming after him for scamming. Hey, Jay Noland, do I need to educate you, a black guy who's the same age as my father, that a lynching was when someone was literally murdered, and what happened to you was a result of your own actions from scamming countless people out of who knows how much money over the course of decades, and it's not even a criminal charge against you. It's a civil case that temporarily barred you from running your company the way it was. So let's check this out. P dribble soundbite. Yeah. Wow. Loathsome. Yeah. Horrible person. Absolutely despicable person. Federal court finds James D. Jay Noland Jr., and this is like a couple weeks old, May 25th. Insane. Operator of Success by Health and Voz Travel in contempt of court order barring pyramid schemes. In contempt of court order barring pyramid schemes. So he got that 2020 order and violated it, even after claiming racism. Court ruling imposes permanent multi-level marketing ban and $7.3 million judgment on Noland and other defendants as a result of FTC actions. Let's check it out. The court sided with the FTC, ruling that James Noland illegally owned and operated 2 pyramid schemes, Success by Health and Voz Travel, in violation of the FTC Act, and that Noland violated a previous federal court order barring him from pyramid schemes and from misrepresenting multi-level marketing participants' income potential. So it wasn't even the first time. That he had been in trouble for the same thing. Again, the absolute gall of this dude, the balls on this fucking guy. I can't believe it. I truly cannot believe it. You should have shut the fuck up and counted your blessings, Jay. The FTC sued Noland, his wife Lena, Scott Harris, and Thomas Sacca, the 2 white guys, in connection with Success by Health in January 2020. That's what we saw. And added charges related to Voz in September 2020. The FTC alleged that they operated the businesses as pyramid schemes, making outlandish claims that the masses could be making more than $1 million each month by following Noland's systems, when in fact very few customers made any money and most lost significant sums. Literally every single MLM. In its ruling, the U.S. District Court for the District of Arizona found that the 3 violated the FTC Act by operating the 2 companies as pyramid schemes and using false promises of financial freedom. Where have we heard that before? Every single MLM. In addition, the court found Harris and Sacca were aware of the order against Noland stemming from a prior case, and thus they were in contempt of that order. In its ruling, the court cited, quote, sheer volume of deceptive tactics and statements associated with both companies. I mean, could not be more black and white. No pun intended. Could not be more crystal clear. Wow. The court also noted that Harris told an audience at one private Success by Health marketing event, quote, is this one of those pyramid things? Hell yeah, it is. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing it. Do I look dumb enough to go get a job again? Wow. What up, Specs? Wow. In addition, the court ruled that the defendant's false claims about Noland's own wealth in selling the pyramid schemes were outrageous. For example, Noland told Success by Health and Voz Travel members, quote, I've been financially free, completely time and money free since I was 36. In fact, as the court found, at the age of 36, Noland was living or about to start living off credit cards. Jay Noland, you are a fucking loser! You are a fucking rat bastard, Jay Noland. What a pussy. Additionally, although Noland told members that he was a multimillionaire, the court explained that in his January 2020 sworn financial statement, Noland reported he had a negative net worth. Similarly, at a deposition in this case, quote, Noland was unable to identify a time he ever had a positive net worth. Wow. Imagine scamming for so long and being so dumb and so bad with your money that you were still in debt. What an absolute fucking dickhead. The defendants used these and other false claims to boost their promises that Success by Health affiliates would achieve financial freedom, becoming millionaires, or having an income stream of $20K per month. Instead, the court found the great majority of SBH affiliates were net losers of money, and the few who may have eked out a net positive outcome did not obtain anything close to the financial freedom that was being offered. The court, for example, found that one top retailer in Success by Health earned less from those sales than what an individual would earn from a full-time minimum wage job, because of course. Wow. The court permanently bans Noland, his wife Lena, Harris, and Saka from any participation in MLM. In its ruling, the court said they have found themselves to be utterly incapable of operating an MLM business in a lawful manner. This is where I have to shift some of my criticism from Jay Noland to the FTC themselves. Hey, FTC, name one company that does operate MLM in a lawful manner. There is no such thing as a legitimate MLM or a good MLM. It is a mythical unicorn. It is inevitable based on the actual structure of the business model and the compensation plan itself. It is impossible for it to not devolve into a recruiting, an endless chain recruiting scheme. Retail sales, direct selling, accounts for less than 1% of retail sales made annually in North America. Amazon, Target, Walmart, direct sales is an obsolete business model. Less than 1%, that is an amount that you could make the case that it shouldn't even be counted. It should be in a category called other because it is so insignificant. So explain to me how MLM, a $1 trillion a year industry, yet they generate $1 trillion globally every year, yet somehow direct sales only accounts for less than 1%. The numbers don't lie. That means that the money's coming from somewhere else. It's a pyramid scheme. The whole industry is a pyramid scheme of pyramid schemes. Insane. $7.3 million judgment on the three people. The full amount sought, any amount recovered by the FTC will be used to make consumers whole again. The court also found the defendants committed multiple acts of dishonesty, including destroying evidence, violating court orders, giving false oath under testimony, and taking no accountability for the misconduct after being caught. Could that include Jay Noland saying that racism was to blame for his prosecution? Acts of dishonesty, including destroying evidence. Of course, they weren't going to take your open book documents into consideration. You're full of shit. Wow. And this, mind you, that all happened 3 years ago. And here we are, May 2023, less than a month ago, when they finally found them in contempt and published this. How can you not walk away from reading this being utterly defeated and disappointed with the Federal Trade Commission? The Federal Trade Commission, when they do stuff like this, it is such a theater performance of acting like they give a fuck. A theater performance of actually doing something. They are doing nothing about the core problem. Nobody is in jail. Nobody has been made whole again. Even if that $7.3 million is paid back to consumers, it will not even begin to scratch the surface of the amount of losses that were incurred by those people spending their time and money and effort in either of the two companies. The FTC knows the truth, and they are so deeply, there's a saying, never attribute to malice what you can attribute to stupidity. So never assume that someone is being malicious when they could maybe just be ignorant. The FTC leaves me with only two possibilities to consider. Either they are so incompetent, they don't know what's going on, they don't know how to see that MLMs are pyramid schemes, and there's no two ways about it. No matter how you slice it, it is a scam. Either they're too dumb to see that, or they are so corrupt and so shackled and bound by the lobbying of the government that decides their budget and direction every single year, and the president that they serve, that they actually can't do anything despite knowing the truth. Which one am I to choose? And which one would make me content? Neither of them. Either way you look at it, either they're incompetent and stupid or they're corrupt. Either way, you can't be comfortable with either answer. Either way, you would be disappointed. My personal take is the answer is number 2. The FTC's budget is decided by Congress. Congress decides what they care about based on lobbying, private interest, corporations. In a way, the MLM industry is responsible for funding the FTC. It's basically self-governed. It's self-policed, meaning it's rampant with fraud and criminality. The MLM industry spends their lobbying money to decide who is in charge. Then those people in charge consider what the MLM industry wants when deciding how the FTC deals with them, and the circle just goes on and on and on. If you read Ponzi-nomics, it talks about this in more detail. Exactly. They say, like, how can you read that? We just read that, where they're talking about multiple acts of dishonesty, deceptive earnings claims, which is fraudulent. You know, if you tell someone you're going to get A for giving me your money and they don't get it, that is fraud. You lied. You told a lie. How is it not crime? I have no fucking clue. How is that not deemed criminal fraud, a criminal case? I have no clue. Bernie Madoff was somehow sentenced to jail for running a $64 billion Ponzi scheme and telling people that they were going to get a return on their money every month because he knows how to use a split strike conversion trading algorithm. And it turned out that that wasn't even a thing. It was just a Ponzi scheme. So he goes to jail for that. But for some reason, when Jay Noland runs pyramid schemes for 15 years and tells people that he's a millionaire and he's actually in credit card debt and tells people they can make $1 million a month with his system when most people are losing money, that is somehow just deemed a civil case? No jail? He's free? Make it make sense. Explain that to me. Insane. Yeah, one MLM company wasn't enough. Can't believe this. Benjamin says, maybe we should agree with him. He was singled out since every MLM should be under prosecution. He was singled out only because he had the loudest fucking mouth and the most ridiculous claims. And people actually took the time to complain about him. Wow, man. Wow, no integrity. Spec says, Jay Noland, that's a gay omen.
Bars.
There you go. Insane. And now he's not allowed to work in MLM ever again. What is he going to do? Who fucking knows? He got off easy. I know you guys were saying in the chat it's a happy ending. He got what he deserved. Absolutely not, he didn't. Absolutely not, he didn't. There is no way. It didn't even come close. He's free today. Why is he free? I guess I'm racist, though, for saying that he shouldn't be free because he's black, right? No, he's a fucking criminal. Wow. Can't believe this, you guys. James says, I lost my friend to a hair product MLM this month. Marco found your channel. Appreciate that, James, and I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I agree. Peter in the chat says, Marco, Jay Noland is the worst one you've ever brought on stream. Absolutely, and I think I hadn't watched either of those videos before tonight, and I thank Dave Vaughn for sending me those because wow, wow, wow. Every time I think it can't get worse, we discover a Jay Noland. You know, just when I thought Alex Morton and David Emonetier were the worst people on the planet, I discovered Jay Noland. Wow. 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 I'm reading your guys' comments. Yep, Benjamin quoting Ponzionomics, the revolving door between the FTC and MLM. That's the sad truth is that when different presidents come in, usually the leaders of those FTC, when the leaders of those different commissions, there's an Obama administration FTC, a Trump administration FTC, a Biden administration FTC. When the power changes hands, the president gets to choose a new figurehead for each of these different, branches of government, including the FTC. So oftentimes, the people running the FTC don't want to make too much noise because after they leave the FTC, the opportunity is there for them to go be a paid consultant or board member on behalf of an MLM company. So think about the hypocrisy. In the FTC, their duty was to protect consumers from pyramid scheme fraud, but you don't want to do too much because there might be a job waiting for you, a gig waiting for you on the other side of this 4 years or 8 years from Herbalife, Amway, Nu Skin, whoever. And in Ponzionomics, Robert Fitzpatrick gives several examples of people who were in high levels at the FTC or even prosecuting against certain companies in court. And then after they left their post at the FTC, they went to work for that company as a consultant. What does it mean? Basically, we're giving them money so that if we do ever get sued by the FTC, you can ring up your old friends and say, take it easy on them. In my Doug Brooks interview, he talks about how during the class action case that he was prosecuting against Herbalife, suddenly Herbalife decided to change lawyers in the middle of the case. Very unusual. Changed law firms completely. And who's the new lawyer that they brought in? The former mentor of the judge who was presiding over the case. Coincidence? And of course, Doug Brooks lost that case and didn't score a single point. All of this is about human greed and corruption and fraud. It is absolutely a show. Whether you have a badge that says FTC or a badge that says Amway, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. These people are looking out for themselves. And in cases like this, where a company is shut down, look how useless. We're talking about $1 trillion globally. A bullshit $7.3 million judgment. It's nothing. It's nothing. Literally a drop in the bucket. And how long did it take? From 2020 to May 2023. 3 fucking years. I exposed the company back in 2021 at the beginning of the year. And I had hundreds of people file reports in June of that year, in April, May, and June of that year. And the FTC is still just barely beginning to dribble out the first pieces of news about how they're investigating that company. And in a year or maybe 2 years, finally we'll hear about that company being shut down. And will I be happy? Partially, because I contributed to it. But also, overall, how can you not be like, really? It took you this fucking long? It took you 3 years to figure out what one guy figured out in a YouTube video at the beginning of 2021? All right. Great point. NPAS says Madoff got in much more trouble because he fucked over rich people. No one cares about the average Joe. Yeah? Insane. I have heard of On Passive, yes. And he had a prior order against him. Yep. Exactly, man. I just can't. I can't understand it. There's no understanding it. You could go crazy trying to understand it. Our internal investigation uncovered that we did nothing wrong. Exactly. He should be in jail. Yep. Do I have my Trump, 'cause you'd be in jail sound effect? Let me see if I have it. Trump, billions, Trump, you're poor. Do I have the one that says 'cause you'd be in jail? Let me search it. jail. Nope, I don't have it. All right. Yeah, I don't have it. What a fucking goof. People go to jail for bad checks. Exactly. Jay Noland, we call him Jay Noland. Jay says, unless the Office of Inspector General had an active investigation, we couldn't continue to keep their applications on hold or freeze disbursements, even if we had evidence of fraud. Still, though. FTC needs to make good on its threat to sue companies at $50K plus per violation. I wonder how the FTC is going to respond when I send them. No, you know what? I can't say anything. I can't say anything. But I'll tell you this. As part of my most recent investigation pertaining to this video that's about to come out, I have included a report to the Federal Trade Commission and Competition Bureau that contains over 200 different examples of deceptive earnings and lifestyle claims from a select few representatives at the highest levels of this company in a very short span, in the span of, I think, 3 months when I was collecting these Instagram story screen recordings and screenshots. Over 200, and I'm going to continue to show them. And yeah, the FTC, just like Harry Markopolos said in his speech there, or his address to the government, the SEC continues to bark like a mouse and bite like a flea. FTC, arguably just as bad, if not worse. And you know what's sad is when I was at the MLM conference back in March, I spoke face to face to members of the FTC. There were several of them there. And I got the impression from every single one of them that they hated MLM and they knew what it was about. And all of them had seen my work before. All of them had nice things to say to me. All of them knew what was up. All of them gave me the wink and the nudge and the cough and the, little, they know. So again, are you guys just completely powerless to do anything? Well, what the fuck is the tax money going to then? Money doesn't talk, it screams. That's a bar. That's a bar right there. Hold on, let me do that.
Bars.
Yeah. What do winners do? Never quit. Winners never quit and quitters never win. Insane. Wow, that was insane. 3 hours just flew by like that. That's crazy. Anyways, you guys, I tried to manifest $1,000 in donations at the beginning of this stream, and I don't know, I guess my mindset isn't right. My mindset is not where it needs to be. I thought I was going to have it, and it doesn't, so everyone's on trial.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marco in our forum, the Goon Court.
I think, and we didn't even get to to fill up this current dono goal as an incentive for me to buy this MAGA giant foam hat / cowboy hat. I'm not sure which one. I think probably the cowboy hat I would have to get, right? So that's a shame, but you can't win them all. You can't win them all. Jay Noland is a free man, and I don't have a giant Trump foam hat, and I didn't manifest $1,000 in donos, but hey, we're all doing our best, huh? All right, well, fuck. I'll see you guys tomorrow, earlier stream, 5:30, because I have a family engagement in the evening, and wow, do I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. You guys are going to finally, we're halfway through the year, and I am about to drop my tentpole flagship piece of content for the year. This essentially a documentary. Yeah. and it's gonna there's gonna be a shitstorm campaign on Instagram as well to go with the video after it drops, as soon as it drops. And if you guys want to follow that, please follow me on Instagram. Where is it? @alwaysmarco, because it's honestly, arguably, an equivalent amount of story is going to be told on Instagram as there is on the YouTube video. So yeah, appreciate you guys. You are the best. NPAS says your chakra is backed up. You need more crystals. Mercury is also in Gatorade. Try next stream. Yeah, I will. Yeah, so true. Gotta flush out that chakra. Appreciate you, David. Appreciate you, Sweet Goth. Appreciate everybody. And I will see you again next time, tomorrow night. Peace out, y'all. Love ya.
Marco!
Let's go.